a young man with a look of boredom and despair in his eyes. This is Lim Dae-in, the protagonist of our story. Now, he's experiencing the rock bottom of failure, rejected by society, because he just went through something unbelievable: regression. Yes, you heard that right. He regressed back to the past. Usually, like protagonists in other stories, when given a second chance at the past, they would be ecstatic, overjoyed with the opportunity. But not our Dae-in. Because in the future, he had built a massive, solid foundation, an achievement earned through blood, sweat, and tears. And yet now, he has to start from scratch. How could he not be bitter? It all started last night, when Lim Dae-in held a small retirement party. As just a mid-level employee, the party was quite simple and cozy. Just a few close friends enjoying some drinks and savoring some light snacks. But don't underestimate him just because he was a mid-level employee. Rank A and S individuals are incredibly rare, like endangered species on the brink of extinction. Therefore, rank B is considered a desirable starting point. For this very reason, after 25 years of relentless effort, Lim Dae-in finally amassed a considerable fortune. Though it only amounted to a few buildings in his name, it was a source of pride. And now, all Lim Dae-in desired was to enjoy a peaceful retirement, savoring the fruits of his labor, and revel in his wealth. But life rarely goes as planned. The next morning, upon waking, he was shocked to discover he had been transported back 25 years, to the exact moment when he was still living in that rundown apartment. After 25 years of hardship, before he could even enjoy his success, fate forced him to start over. It felt like having to restart a game after reaching max level. After glancing at his phone, he confirmed that he was indeed in 2018, and rage consumed him. I just want to throw this damn phone against the wall. Are you kidding me? Damn it. How the hell did I get back to the past? I just retired. Why? What did I do wrong? Oh God. Lim Dae-in screamed in utter despair. Suddenly, he noticed a watch on his left wrist. It was a gift from his best friend, given to him last night. Why is it here? Impossible. Lim Dae-in suddenly remembered his friend's words. Rumor has it, this is a treasure of the continent's legendary sorcerer, the great Biden Tahito. Now Lim Dae-in realized everything. I must have traveled back in time because of it. That's right. Yesterday, before going to bed, I was playing with it a little. All right, everything is clear now. And at this very moment, outside, a thunderous pounding on the door shattered the silence. Hey, what the hell are you doing making so much noise? Get out here, you bastard. At that moment, memories from 25 years ago flooded back like a torrent. Next door to Lim Dae-in lived a detestable man, the landlord's son. He looked like nothing more than a common street thug. Every night, he'd sing loudly, get drunk, and cause trouble. And before he woke up from his long slumber, this man would always try to harass and exploit Lim Dae-in for money. The shouting outside grew louder and louder. Hey, are you playing dead in there? I'm gonna break this door down. The horrible memories came flooding back, combined with the relentless pounding from the jerk outside, igniting a furious rage within him. He flung the door open, ready to confront him. The scumbag was decked out in expensive designer clothes. His jacket was made from monster hide. Who knows who he'd just shaken down for that cash? But the moment he saw Jin-woo emerge, he started putting on an act. I've suffered severe emotional distress from the racket you made. I was about to call the cops, but I can't bring myself to do that to a kid like you. So I'll let this slide if you compensate me for my emotional damage. In short, this scumbag was trying to extort Jin-woo, and his eyes quickly fell on the watch on Jin-woo's wrist. That's a nice watch you got there. As he spoke, he reached out to snatch the watch, but Jin-woo reacted swiftly, immediately swatting his hand away. Not only that, but he also gave the fat man a wallop to the face. Jin-woo grabbed the man's face and delivered a brutal knee strike. He waited until the hefty man collapsed to the ground before Jin-woo began to lecture him. How can a grown man like you stoop so low as to resort to robbery, stealing from a kid like me? This isn't nearly enough to compensate for what you took, but I'll be generous and let you off the hook this time. As Lim Dae-in spoke, she swiftly removed his shirt, putting it on herself, tried to rob someone, and failed miserably, only to get robbed in return. The hefty man on the ground stammered, still trembling. And no, that's expensive. Lim Dae-in ignored him, turned to leave. I'm leaving. You better watch yourself next time. Out on the street, Lim Dae-in lost herself in thought. I still don't understand why I'm back in 2018. But ever since I woke up after that fall at the construction site, I've been struggling with this knee injury for years. Now the pain is gone. It's incredible. All right then, Let's get started. At that moment, streams of mana began to emanate from his body. That's because Jinwoo has been manipulating mana for 25 years. So awakening on his own is as easy as pie. As soon as the awakening process finished, he immediately checked his body's condition. I'm still malnourished and lacking muscle. I've really gotten used to this body after regressing. But first, my stomach is rumbling. I need to find something to eat. But unfortunately, there are no restaurants in sight, only a messy construction site. Come to think of it, back then he had the worst luck imaginable, stumbling upon those damn dungeons. Now, the appearance of the gates and monsters has caused countless losses. He wondered if he was cursed with bad luck, because as soon as he thought about a gate actually appeared. The sudden appearance of a strange gate sent everyone into a panic. Chaos erupted, engulfing everything in pandemonium. And then, from within the gate, a red dog suddenly emerged. It was known by the terrifying name, the red-spotted wild dog. A ferocious monster with razor-sharp teeth living in large packs. Everywhere, screams of terror and desperate cries for help echoed. Have I returned at this horrific moment? Let's see a weapon, he muttered to himself. Just as he finished speaking, his eyes landed on a crowbar lying nearby. Without hesitation, Linda quickly grabbed the crude weapon. He braced himself, his fighting stance filled with determination. Ahead of Linda, a little girl was surrounded by 3 ferocious dogs, her life hanging by a thread. Just before the vicious dogs lunged at the girl, Linda pulled her back and shoved her behind him. Run to your father, Linda yelled at the girl. Meanwhile, the other 2 dogs, realizing their prey had been snatched, immediately lunged at him. And to treat these 2 beasts, Linda swung the crowbar in his hand, landing a critical blow directly on one's head. The blow left it stunned and disoriented. Next, another powerful swing of the crowbar smashed directly into the monster's jaw. This blow would surely leave it, even if it survived, without any teeth left to gnaw on anything. Finally, Linda used all his strength, reversed the crowbar, and hurled the creature far away. But having just taken down one, his stomach growled even louder. Why am I getting hungry so fast? And why are there so many of these monsters? Now that I think about it, you guys are pretty plump, looking quite delicious. Linda muttered, his mouth starting to water. You rabid dogs. Seeing this, the remaining monsters faltered. Their survival instincts warned them that the person before them seemed incredibly dangerous, and Linda wasn't playing around. A future where he had truly tasted them. They're delicious, stewed red-spotted wild dog. All right, I'll make this quick. Though hungry, and currently in his prime, this was still 25 years ago. He couldn't fight as nimbly as he could at 40. Linda charged into the fray with the wild dogs, lost in thought. But now, he had an advantage that his future self lacked. The incredible spring in his youthful legs. And thanks to the power in those legs, he easily dodged a wild dog's attack. Immediately after, Linda unleashed a thunderous kick straight to the animal's snout. But as soon as one fell, another launched a surprise attack. At this rate, I'll be fighting forever. This weapon isn't powerful enough. Thinking that, Linda pulled out his watch. Treat it like a club and bash the other wolf's snout in. This watch is really tough. Linda thought to herself. It seems like they weren't exaggerating when they called it a legendary treasure. How many more of these wolves are there? 10 or 20? Why won't they stop coming? Just then, a siren blared loudly. This is Officer Shin. Follow our instructions. Hearing that familiar voice, Linda breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, these officers arrived, just a little bit later, and he might have ended up as Wolf Chow. Thanks to this fight, though, the leather jacket he just stole was completely ripped to shreds. Just then, behind him, the police officer rushed over, a sincere apology tumbling from his lips. He expressed his deep gratitude for Jinwoo's courageous act of saving lives. Can you tell me your name and organization? The officer asked, so we can give you the reward you deserve. As soon as he finished speaking, the officer pulled out a pen and paper, preparing to take down the information. My name is Jinwoo, he replied. I haven't joined any organization, and I haven't registered as a hunter yet. I just awakened my abilities a few hours ago. So I can't receive a reward yet, right? Jinwoo asked. I'll give you my phone number and bank account information. Jinwoo said, taking the pen and paper from the officer. Then, he wrote down his personal information himself. Witnessing this, the police officer was a little stunned. It seemed like this young man was more proficient at this than he was. Was he really sure this person had just awakened? Right after writing down his information, Jinwoo flashed a bright smile and bid the officer farewell, and left immediately, despite the man having more questions. The reason was simply because Jinwoo was too hungry. Besides, providing his name and phone number was enough for others to contact him. Finally, after a period of waiting, Jinwoo had something to eat. "This is beef cheek porridge, sir." Enjoying the delicious porridge just when his stomach was rumbling made him feel incredibly happy. Meanwhile, Jinwoo's phone suddenly rang. They called already? That fast? Could it be? It must be time for everyone to disperse and recruit hunters. Moreover, they witnessed my extraordinary abilities, even though I just awakened. Let's see. If it's 2018, then about 2 years ago, when the first gate appeared. That's when hunters possessing mana and distinct characteristics began to emerge. They gradually replaced regular police and soldiers. And that's when the guilds started to gain power. Whenever a new hunter appears, a fierce battle erupts to recruit this talent. If I were to appear in the midst of this chaos, my phone would be flooded with missed calls. Moreover, there are countless criminals out there, disguised as hunters, and there aren't any guidelines on how to deal with monsters when they appear. A few of the 6 major disasters are about to happen, aren't they? I guess I have no other choice. I'll use my knowledge from the future, things that no one knows or has even thought of. Retire within 3 years. I'll definitely enjoy a wonderful, peaceful life. Jinwoo set a goal for himself. But not long after, a man came looking for him. "Excuse me, are you Jinwoo?" Hearing the question, Jinwoo immediately turned around to answer. "Yes, that's me. May I ask who you are?" "Just as I suspected, I am Kim Ji-soo, a manager from the Royal Guild." As soon as he finished speaking, the handsome man handed him a business card. "After watching your monster hunting video, I've been eager to meet you. If you haven't signed with the guild yet." But before the handsome man could finish his sentence, he was interrupted by another voice. "Hold it right there. You're Jinwoo, aren't you?" The voice belonged to a strikingly beautiful woman who had just entered from the doorway. "The star of that monster slaying video? I bet you're even more impressive in person. If you..." Before she could finish, she was cut off by yet another person. "Hey there, young man. I'm from the Warriors Craft Guild. As you can see, our guild is very..." "Hello there, Lim Dae-in." Following that, a flood of people poured into the diner, all of them vying to offer enticing offers to Lim Dae-in. Finally, unable to bear it any longer, Lim Dae-in had to speak up. "Everyone, please be quiet. If anyone says another word, I won't join any guild." His firm declaration finally silenced the crowd. "First, let's go somewhere else to talk," Lim Dae-in suggested. Moments later, they were at a quiet cafe. Lim Dae-in took a leisurely sip of coffee and began to speak. "I won't waste your precious time. Regarding the contract commission, how much can you offer me?" The handsome man from the Royal Guild spoke up. "First, Mr. Lim Dae-in, this contract is confidential. Perhaps we could discuss this in private? You're from the Royal Guild, aren't you?" Indeed, the Royal Guild is a very promising organization. We have a rich history of over a year and a half. This guy's just getting started with his bragging. Linda Y interjected. "I wish you a safe journey. I have no intention of signing a contract with you." Her blunt words left the handsome young man speechless, completely bewildered. The reason Linda Y refused to sign with this guild was simple. In the future, she would possess a wealth of crucial information. So, why join such a poorly managed guild? Not to mention, the Royal Guild was on the verge of merging with another guild. What about the rest of you? Linda Y turned to address the others. Hearing these words, a representative from a guild made an enticing offer. "We're prepared to offer 1 billion won. We can raise that to 1.1 billion won. Then we'll offer 1.2 billion. Linda and was quite pleased as she listened to the offers. The price kept climbing higher and higher. It was like an auction. Suddenly, a voice rang out, silencing everyone. 2 billion won base salary, plus a generous bonus. We'll provide you with the best conditions. Nowhere else will treat you better than us." The speaker was Baek Jang-hui, the manager of the White House Guild. White House was a newly established guild, but in just 1 year, it had risen to become one of Korea's top 3 guilds. That's why they were so confident. Linda and had made his decision. He spoke. "Everyone may leave, except for Ms. Baek Jang-hui. Everyone, you can leave your business cards with me." After the others had left, A profound silence filled the room. Bae Yong-hui was the first to break the silence. On my way here, I reviewed the video footage of your match several times. Your skills are truly impressive. Just yesterday, you were an ordinary person. Therefore, I'm certain you're either a natural-born genius, or you possess a unique ability, a special power that allows you to surpass your opponents in battle. I would be honored to nurture your talent, to shape you into the future of the White House. With those words, she presented a contract. Immediately after, Linda picked up the contract and began to examine it meticulously. In my past life, I never dared to dream of signing such a contract. But then, thinking about it, he spoke up. Can I add a few more clauses? Yes, go right ahead. While Linda was adding the clauses, she glanced over a few lines and couldn't help but chuckle. You're funny. I'm not kidding. I'm done. Please take a look. Baek Yong-hee pointed at the lines in the contract and said, a 4-day work week, guaranteed to leave work on time, and the right to refuse tasks that are a waste of time. You must be joking. Finishing her sentence, her expression became incredibly serious. But for someone who had fought for 25 years in the future, this look couldn't intimidate Linda Een. Those are my conditions. Linda Een coldly replied, unfazed. This firm response gave Baek Yong-hee pause for thought. Why are you so confident in yourself? Linda calmly replied. In return, you won't regret signing a contract with me. This contract has a lot of unreasonable clauses, so I can't make a decision right away. She stood up and said, I'll see you again in a few days. I'll review the contract. Baek Yong-hui smiled and said to Linda, how about we drink something other than coffee? After saying that, she winked at Linda. To this wink, Linda looked annoyed. I'm not easily fooled. You think I don't know you're the guild leader's daughter? After everything was done, Linda decided to register as a hunter at the Seoul branch of the Disaster Control Center. Linda is going through the hunter registration process, but there's a small problem. According to the receptionist, those in authority were currently unavailable. She herself lacked the authority to make a decision on the matter. Situations like this truly frustrated and exasperated Linda. I'm in a hurry. Can't you process this faster? I'll try contacting my supervisor right away. That supervisor is such a pain, she thought. I need to get this over with and get out of here. Meanwhile, the receptionist started contacting her superior. Hello, Captain. There's someone here who wants to register as a hunter. He says he's in a big rush. After a brief exchange, it seems she had been granted permission to process the registration. She promptly led him to the examination room. As they walked, she asked, do you have any special abilities? I'm more of a physical strength type. No special abilities. Of course, this was a lie on Linda's part. There were no devices to measure magical power in this era. Therefore, they could only discern special abilities or physical prowess through direct observation. In this life, I will never let anyone discover my powers. Moments later, they arrived at the testing room, filled with heavy weights. We'll start with the hunter examination first. Can you lift that weight? At that moment, a massive barbell, requiring 2 hands to lift, appeared before Jinwoo. However, for someone who has awakened, lifting this weight was as easy as flipping his hand. With just 1 hand, he effortlessly hoisted the barbell. He truly is a hunter. Do you think I'm lying? I apologize. Let's move on to the next step. After a while, the test was finally complete. The staff member handed Jinwoo a piece of paper. Jinwoo, this is your temporary hunter certification. We will contact you when the official certification is ready. Then I'll be going. Just as Jinwoo was about to leave, a voice called out, Ji Hyun, are you there, Captain? That voice made his face darken, because he knew exactly who the owner of that familiar voice was. Damn it, I wish I could have just walked by unnoticed. And the owner of that voice was none other than Ju Sang-guk from the support team. No hunter who got involved with him ever ended up well. It's best if I never come back here again, Jinwoo thought to himself. But at this moment, Jinwoo had no idea that Ju Sang-guk had his eye on him, who told him to be a super rookie hunter. A moment later, at the contaminated zone, the area was completely sealed off, ravaged and deserted because of the monsters. Everything changed when the dimensional gate appeared. Gaia, a virtual world where swords and magic exist. After a year, the dimensional gates connecting to Gaia will open all over the planet, and humanity will face a new revolution. In South Korea, only 1 gate was predicted to appear. Within this controlled area, once I receive the contract payment, I'll buy this entire area. And once I succeed, I'll be incredibly rich. Yimdane thought, a wide smile spreading across his face. The vision of swimming in a sea of money vividly playing out his mind. But first, time to pack up and go monster hunting. As he spoke, he started organizing his belongings. Suddenly, a voice rang out. Get out, or I'll kill you. I'm warning you. If you dare come any closer, you'll die. The voice immediately caught Yimdane's attention. Is it the language of the Gaia continent? He paused for a moment, then immediately used his unique ability. Instantly, Yimdane's figure began to fade. This was the effect of his cloaking ability, allowing him to blend seamlessly with his surroundings. He has the ability to conceal his presence. This unique skill once forced Linda into deadly dangerous missions, such as reconnaissance, espionage, even assassination. I swore I'd never set foot in those damned places again. Linda muttered to herself and quickly moved towards the source of the noise. The faint voice called out again. Don't come here. Could someone be chasing her? I have to find out. With that thought, Linda picked up her pace. Not far from there, a young girl was indeed surrounded by 3 burly men. I'm warning you, you'll regret this. As soon as she finished speaking, the girl conjured a fierce fireball in front of her. The sight terrified the thugs. What the hell is this? Could it be superpowers? Incredible. I bet this kid will fetch a high price. These guys are talking so casually, without a shred of fear. The girl over there seems to be so panicked that the fireball she was forming suddenly vanished. Just then, Linda Een arrived and witnessed everything that just happened. A girl who speaks the language of gayer hell and possesses supernatural powers. A victim of a dimensional rift, lost amidst the bustling crowd. Unfortunately, this child has fallen into the hands of traffickers. Meanwhile, the thugs were preparing to make their move. Hey kid, come on, give it up. Come with us. We'll buy you some delicious food, okay? These sweet words came from a thug with a viper tattoo on his left arm. Upon seeing the tattoo, Linda Een immediately recognized it as the symbol of the Blood Serpent Gang. Those bastards, they're actually trafficking people? My mana is depleted. I can't maintain invisibility any longer. How long has it been since I've encountered another person? Should I intervene and save that poor child? Despite the hesitation swirling in his mind, his body acted before his thoughts, lunging downwards. The moment he landed, Linda, with lightning speed, drew a sharp knife, charging towards the aggressive thugs. With a single fatal blow, he pierced through the leader. Then, with swift and decisive movements, he took down the remaining 2 in the blink of an eye. They didn't even have time to understand what was happening. The horrific scene made the little girl tremble with fear. Linda spoke, breaking the tense silence. Are you from Gaia Hell? I have some questions for you. The unexpected question startled the little girl. You understand our language? Just as she finished speaking, her stomach rumbled loudly. With no other choice, Linda Een was forced to search for something to fill her empty stomach. Seeing her plight, he asked, Do you want some meat? A moment later, after enjoying a delicious meal, the little girl beamed. Thank you, Mr. Linda Een. Thank you, sir. You saved me. I swear I'll repay your kindness. The little girl pleaded earnestly. After the girl finished her meal, Linda Een got straight to the point. How did you manage to cross the principal gate alone to get here? Where were you before you came here? Where is your home? Faced with the barrage of questions, the little girl hesitated, unwilling to reveal anything, not even her age. After a round of questioning yielded no information, Linda Een felt frustrated and helpless. Please, sir, help me, the girl sobbed. I'm completely lost here. I don't know who to talk to, and I'm too weak. I can use fire, but I can't control it well. As she spoke, the girl tried to demonstrate her ability, but the weak flame immediately flickered out. Despite the pitiful girl's plea, Linda Een remained coldly indifferent. I'm very busy. Babysitting is hard enough work as it is. I have no obligation to take care of you. I'll give you 1 month. For this month, you can stay here. I'll teach you the language of this world and some basic necessary knowledge. In return, you will do chores for me. So, you must be obedient and listen to me. Hearing that, the little girl's face lit up. Of course. So I can really stay here? Seeing the girl's joyful expression, Linda Een started to feel a bit annoyed. I told you nothing is free. Now go wash these dishes. Yes, ma'am. My name is Lily. I hope we can get along. The name Lily felt somewhat familiar to Linda Een. A fire-wielding superhuman named Lily. Impossible. Could she be the monster who burned down half of Seoul 15 years ago with fiery red hair and the ability to control fire? Her name is Lily, hailing from the 6th Hell, one of the 6 calamity fire mages. She looks like this kid. No, she's identical. I know. Fire mages are kidnapped by a criminal organization at a young age and raised to become calamities. Could it be that I've already prevented the first calamity? A moment later, Linda leads Lily to the market. Since today is the first day they've met, he decides to cook her a special meal. In the future, after the first dimensional gate opened, famine forced humanity to consume monster meat. Now supply outweighs demand. Because its uses aren't widely known, it refers to mana-rich ingredients, things that are impossible to buy in the future. That's why when buying, Linda was even given a lot of extra meat by the shopkeeper. Basically, it just doesn't sell. Alright, and since they were at the market, Lim Dae-in asked Lily if there were any clothes she liked that he could buy for her. Right? We should get her some new clothes. Go ahead and choose, really. Which one do you want? Lily pointed to a rather adorable dress. Lily's choice caused Lim Dae-in to pause for a moment. So, he decided to buy Lily a tracksuit. A boy's tracksuit at that. His reasoning was that wearing a dress in this wasteland wasn't practical. I think that was only part of the reason. The main reason must have been financial. A while later, after they returned home and after some kitchen maneuvering, the special dinner was finally ready. This was Lim Dae-in's signature dish, a mana-rich, nutritious meal, but it looked like some kind of toxic chemical. Lily also seemed dubious. Can I really eat this? Lily wondered, her face full of doubt, but Lim Dae-in quickly explained. Healthy food often looks unappetizing. While Lily was still hesitant, a captivating aroma suddenly filled the air. Oh, what smells so good? Lily exclaimed excitedly. The enticing scent came from a box of fragrant fried chicken. We'll eat this later, Lim Dae-in said. I'm just opening it to let the aroma stimulate your taste buds, making it easier for you to swallow this mana-rich nourishment. But Lily quickly snatched a golden brown chicken leg. As soon as she took the first bite, her face lit up. Oh my goodness, this is so delicious. From now on, I'm only eating chicken. Lily cheered joyfully. And so, a loyal fried chicken devotee was born. Lim Dae-in didn't seem pleased with this development. His eyes widened, his expression serious. Eat this too. Or do you want me to blend them both into a soup? No, don't. Lily quickly protested. Only then did Lim Dae-in finally sit down to savor his own special dish. You're already being picky. It's not that hard to swallow. Those were just words he said to Lily to brush it off. In reality, deep down, he knew how awful it tasted. It was barely edible, let alone delicious. If it weren't for his regression, he would be enjoying countless delicacies in the most luxurious restaurants. Thinking about this, Lim Dae-in felt extremely frustrated. And after a bland meal, Lily felt her tongue starting to go numb. Finish eating before you complain. Kid, wash the dishes and go read a book. Don't bother me anymore. Yes, sir, Lily replied sadly. Lim Dae-in then found a quiet corner, sat down to cultivate on his own. What he was practicing was the Great Ocean Heart technique, a method to increase magical power and to control it more flexibly. Before turning back time, he had trained his mind. But this time, his mana was increasing faster than he anticipated. Despite his previous arduous mental training, it seemed to have no effect. Could it be the mana-rich food combined with his youthful body? I can clearly feel my core continuously expanding. If this continues, if I combine mental training with mana-rich food, I will become even stronger than before. Is it time to end everything? I don't know. Could it be that the training consumed so much energy that his stomach started rumbling loudly? And Lily, from afar, was just waiting for this moment. Are you hungry? Do you want to eat chicken? She asked with hopeful eyes. But despite her expectant gaze, the meal served for both of them was another mana-rich dish. I really can't stomach this. Lily cried out in distress as she forced herself to eat. The little girl's face suddenly turned purple. Is she poisoned? Even Lim Dae-in himself found the food absolutely dreadful. If it wasn't for getting stronger, he thought to himself. 2 days later, thanks to his relentless eating, Lim Dae-in's mana had increased significantly. With this much energy, he could even go treasure hunting. Just then, Lim Dae-in's phone rang. The caller was Baek Young-hui. Hello, Lim Dae-in speaking. I'm a little disappointed, she said. I thought you'd contact me first. Aren't you curious about how I'm doing? On the other end of the line, Lim Dae-in suddenly remembered he'd forgotten to deal with the contract. Good thing I saved the day. Baek Young-hui sighed in relief. I've been quite busy lately. How's the contract amendment going? Big Young, he was silent for a moment, then spoke. I've convinced the board. They've agreed to recruit you, provided you can prove your capabilities. Capabilities? You want me to take a test? I'm afraid asking you to take a test seems unreasonable. If you can wait a few days, I'll find another way. But who is Linda in? Someone who doesn't fear anyone, afraid of no one. So he's decided he'll take the entrance test. However, I have one condition. Moments later, at the White House Guild headquarters, Linda In and his companion finally met with Big Jang Een. Oh my, who is this adorable little girl? This is Lily, my cousin. Hello there. She's lived abroad, so her Korean isn't very fluent. I'll have to bring her along for the time being, due to some rather complicated issues. Lily asked curiously, who is she? Absolutely stunning. Mister, you're the one who's going to give us money, right? Linda In replied firmly. Meanwhile, Lily drifted off into a daydream. She's going to give us money? So that means she's a kind person, right? It seemed that in Lily's world, currency was converted into delicious chicken drumsticks. Meanwhile, Baek-yoon, he also told Linda In that their guild wouldn't interfere in the hunters' personal lives, so she didn't need to worry. Soon after, Baek-yoon, he led them to meet a tall man, who greeted them as soon as he saw them. Welcome. I'm Baek Jang-soo from the White House Guild. We should have contacted you sooner, but some unexpected matters caused a delay. Please forgive us. It's all right. I can consider this a sightseeing trip. With that, the two firmly shook hands. Baek Jang-soo continued speaking. But I hear you've proposed a new term. You want to double the contract bounty if you pass the test, so you accept to participate in the test. But are you truly worth that price? As he spoke, he suddenly released a powerful aura. Linda In immediately sensed something. He definitely knows some kind of martial art or magic. Such a terrifying presence. Just the mana he's emitting is making me hesitant. A monster is still a monster after all. If it were other hunters, they'd probably be silent by now. But not me. With that thought, Linda In also retaliated with an equally powerful aura. I'll show you my true worth. Park Yasu, witnessing this, was utterly astonished. He quickly turned to Park Yong-hui and said, Yong-hui, redraw the contract. The chairman will sign the contract with the terms previously agreed upon. But before she could finish, he interrupted. The contract commission will be tripled, compared to what we discussed earlier. And what's more, he will receive a 20 billion bonus if he passes the upcoming test. Linda was completely taken aback by this generosity. It was 2 billion at first, so triple would be 6 billion. But he said he'll receive 20 billion if he completes the test. You're incredibly generous. I'll take the test right now, Linda said to Baek Chang-soo. Moments later, at the White House's secret training facility, Baek Yasu was explaining the test. To pass this test, you must win a match against 3 of our members. Sparring against 3 of our members. Since this is just a test, be careful not to get hurt. Your first opponent, his name is Hwang Jang-ho. He's still very young. However, he's one of the guild's first and most seasoned members. Just then, Big Young, he asked Lim Dae-in what weapon he wanted to use. This watch is more than enough. This action infuriated Hwang Yang. His watch just awakened recently. How dare he be so arrogant? What? He's only going to use a watch. On the other side, Baek Chang-soo declared the match to begin. I'll teach you a lesson right here. Hwang Yang, he muttered just loud enough for Lim Dae-in to hear. Lim Dae-in couldn't understand what was wrong with this guy. From reading news articles, he knew Hwang Yang-he's ability was speed. The more he moved, the faster he would become without needing rest. Therefore, he had to defeat him before he reached maximum speed. At this moment, Hwang Yang-he began using a circling tactic to find an opening for an attack. This action took Linda In by surprise, as he expected his opponent to rush in immediately. At the start of the match, a few other guild members above also began to observe the fight. Seeing Hwang Yang-hyuk accelerate like that, he must think he could defeat a top member. Unbelievable, the match is already over. For a newbie like him, at least he had the guts to fight. Byung-hui was also a little worried, unsure how Linda In would handle the situation. Meanwhile below, after circling and probing, Hwang Yang-hyuk finally decided to launch his attack. In a flash, he appeared right behind Lim Ji-hyun. But with 25 years of battle experience, Lim Ji-hyun easily anticipated Hwang Yang-hyuk's attack and then delivered a devastating blow to his face. Everyone above, witnessing Jinwoo's victory with a single move, were utterly astonished. Now who's next? Jinwoo confidently declared the prize money was as good as his. Park Yasuo congratulated Lim Dae-hyun. You were truly amazing. Is that guy all right? It seems he hasn't sustained any life-threatening injuries. The medical team is already there, so he should be fine with a few days of rest. It's all thanks to you holding back. Doesn't really look that way. Actually, if Jinwoo hadn't shown mercy, that guy would be dead. It turns out he knew all along. But with this, the 6 billion contract is practically in our hands. I've met the requirements to join the guild, haven't I? Let's enjoy the rest of the test. Lily suddenly saw Lindine grinning mischievously. Creepy. Why are you smirking like that? She wondered. I already have victory in my grasp, Lindine replied. Moments later, at the second training ground, the artificial forest arena, at this moment, Big Young Hee was introducing Linden's next opponent. The White House unit has 6 teams, she explained. Each team consists of 5 members, and below them is the second division. Your next opponent is the captain of Team 6 of the Vanguard unit. This guy is known as the Steel Shield of the White House, Bodis Ion-di-hun. He pretends to be friendly with a handshake, but in reality, he's one of the guys who tried to kill Lindine in the previous match. At that moment, Lindine, without even shaking hands, immediately assumed a fighting stance. The opening bell just rang. Without hesitation, he launched the first attack, opening with a powerful haymaker aimed directly at his opponent. But the title bull was well-deserved. He easily blocked the attack with his sturdy shield and immediately retaliated with a sharp sword strike. Fortunately, Lindine dodged just in time, but the bull also realized this was a golden opportunity. He was about to discard his shield to launch a decisive attack on Lindine when suddenly he swiftly slipped behind him. Then he unleashed the powerful eagle claw technique. However, once again, the bull successfully blocked the attack. Now, he no longer dared to underestimate Lindine as he had before. Once again, he continued to counterattack with the sword in his right hand. But with quick reflexes, Lindine ducked down, successfully dodging the attack. He charged forward, crashing into his opponent. This was the Iron Mountain technique, an incredibly powerful move, sending this behemoth flying like a cannonball. But it's baffling this guy. What is his body even made of? After taking such a devastating blow, he can still stand up so calmly? Now, Lindine truly grasped the extent of his incredible endurance. He can't be underestimated. It seems there's no other choice. Lindine had intended to conceal a portion of her true strength, saving it for the final test, to astonish Baek Chong-soo. But in this situation, she can't hold back any longer. That sly old fox. You want me to show my full power? Fine. On the other side, the powerhouse, after getting to his feet, spoke. I propose you join my team. We'll be an unstoppable force. But Lindine had other plans. If I win, I'll be the captain. I'll choose my own team members, and we'll operate independently. Lindine proposed a daring offer to Baek Jang-soo. Baek Jang-soo, with his generous nature, immediately agreed. However, if Lindine failed, they would split the reward, sign a contract, and double the duration. Fine, let's go all in, Lindine replied without hesitation. As for the bull, he remained brimming with confidence. Lindine, do you really believe you can beat me? But Lindine didn't flinch. She decided to lay her cards on the table. You like Big Young Hui, don't you? That killing intent was because Big Young Hui cares about me, and you're hatching a plan to crush me in this match, aren't you? Hearing this, the bull flew into a rage, because Lindine's words had struck a nerve. Shut up. I'll show you what a future captain looks like. At that moment, his entire body began to blaze with a crimson mana. Berserker mode activates when he loses all will to fight. It not only increases his mana, but also significantly enhances his physical strength. This Berserker, upon entering his frenzied state, immediately charged towards Lindine, and Lindine seemed to have anticipated this. His fist enveloped in a brilliant stream of mana. Absolute mastery, Thunder Fist. With a single move, Lindine shattered the Berserker's defensive shield. The punch carried a terrifying impact, obliterating a swathe of trees behind him. Immediately after the attack landed, the Berserker collapsed. Lindine himself gasped for breath, exhausted. The reason being his physique was still too weak. I can't believe I used up so much energy, he thought. After just one Thunder Fist. From now on, I'll have to conserve my skill usage. After all, I'll need it for the next fight too. With that, he sat down to recover his mana. At that moment, Big Young-hee approached to congratulate. Congratulations, Captain of Squad 7. I really like the sound of that, Captain. The contract clearly states, passing 2 tests guarantees a 1 billion signing bonus. Now I have a 1 billion in my pocket. How about aiming for 20 billion? Thinking about this, he asked Big Young, who is my final opponent. At this moment, Becky Siep spoke up. It's me. I didn't think you could actually defeat Captain Bull, so I guess I have no other choice. But I will be the one to administer the final test. As he spoke, he rotated his wrist. Teacher, are you saying I have to fight this monster next? Linda and didn't hesitate to refuse immediately. I'll pass on the third test. Mr. Linda and I'll pay you 20 billion if you can last 5 minutes. Wait, I'll give you 30 billion for 3 minutes. I can't fight anymore. That's a lot of money. Tempting, but if I fight him, I'll be crippled. Finally, after some negotiation, they signed a contract. Just then, Big Young He brought up a question that had been on our mind. Captain Linda in, how do you plan to recruit members? I'm considering recruiting one person at a time. I could sign a contract with someone else in an hour, right? But where will we find someone like that? Someone who doesn't belong to any guild and is also an exceptional genius. Lily was drawing when she was surprised to hear Linda and call her name. You called for me? Create the strongest flame possible. But I'm really hungry. The little girl said dejectedly. But as soon as Linda finished mentioning 3 pieces of fried chicken, the little girl's attitude changed dramatically. You better keep your promise. Then Lily ran to the middle of the room, yelled 3 pieces of fried chicken, and created a giant fireball right above her head. This bizarre sight left Baek Yong-hui so stunned she covered her mouth with her hand. Your sister is a hunter too? Yes. That's why I want to get her into the guild. Immediately, the fire was truly massive, but it didn't burn anything around it. That means she can perfectly control the energy. Unbelievable. She can control such a huge flame. After only a few days of training, no wonder she later became known as Calamity. Alright, so let's discuss Lily's signing bonus. We'll start with 3 billion won. Linda said, picking up the contract. But beside her, a terrifying killing intent suddenly radiated. Hold on, my chicken. In the end, Linda was forced to buy Lily chicken before the killing intent dissipated. And the contract with Lily was finally settled at 5 billion won. A moment later, Big Young He took them on a tour. This entire building is owned by White House, with numerous training rooms, personal quarters, a strategic command center, and so on. White House is a large-scale organization, where not only heroes, but also ordinary people work. Big Young He wanted to continue boasting, but seeing Linda's unimpressed expression, she stopped. This is understandable, because compared to the future, the current equipment is somewhat outdated. Next, they were led to the armory. This is where we manufacture our weapons. If you need any type of weapon, we can produce it for you within a week. I have a trusted and skilled craftsman in charge of weapon production, so you don't need to bother. However, I'll grab a few necessities first. With that, he picked up 2 daggers. These should be enough for a while. And that concludes the tour, as they were about to finish everything. With a meeting with the chairman, Baek Chong-soo suddenly appeared. Team leader Lee Dao-in, what are you doing here? Just now, I received an urgent call from Strategic Command. It seems they're in trouble, because all teams have already been deployed. I'm sorry that this is your first day here, but could you come to the scene for a bit? Upon hearing these words, Linda's excitement plummeted a devastating 50%. She thought she'd get off early on her first day, but finally, Linda resigned herself to trudging to the scene. At the sight of the incident, a strange gate hovered in midair, 10 meters above the ground. From this gate, countless giant slugs were emerging. Right there, a group of seasoned hunters were fiercely battling them. However, these slugs continuously secreted a slimy, viscous substance that reeked horribly, making the fight incredibly difficult and slow. Witnessing the chaotic scene before her, Linda could only utter 2 words. What a circus! Still, it seemed the situation was somewhat under control. Do we really need to intervene? The monsters look weak and pathetic. We really need samples from new monster types. So, please do your best to bring all 3 of them back safely. Alright, I understand. These monsters are called giant stench snails. Even in the future, they're still shunned by everyone. These monsters are inherently weak, but if they explode, they release a horrific stench. It's truly awful. Lily hadn't even engaged in combat yet, but she already felt herself reaching her limit. Ugh, that disgusting smell. We have to fight these things. I've blocked the stench with a mana shield. Should I teach you how? Lily was utterly surprised. You can block that awful smell with a mana shield? It doesn't work instantly, but if you try, it really works. The smell is gone. Linda, seeing this, was speechless. I haven't even taught her yet, and this gifted child already learned it herself. He then told Lily to stay put. I'll go hunt a few myself. From what I've observed, it seems there's nowhere to gather quality samples. Just a touch of magic, and they explode before the attacks even land. Magic doesn't seem very effective against them. Just then, he spots a slug crawling on a tree trunk. He swiftly kicks the trunk, sending the slug tumbling down. Then, Jinwoo effortlessly uses Taekwondo, making the slug spin in midair, until it finally loses consciousness. Gotcha! Jinwoo quickly puts the slug in a bag. Lily, watching him effortlessly capture the slug, wants to learn that move. Learning this will cost you 10 billion won. How many chickens can I buy with 10 billion won? Soon, he reports back to headquarters. Control Center announces that sample collection is complete. I've apprehended all 3 targets. I'll hand them over to the retrieval team and be done here. Baek Young-hwee's expression was one of pure astonishment. What? You're finished already? You're taking a break? This was only your first mission. Do you have any questions or concerns? There's nothing to worry about. By the time I arrived, someone was already handling everything. I see. Well, after you've had a chance to properly debrief, just as Jang Een was speaking, a voice suddenly called out from behind. Hey, you remember the White House Guild, right? Jang Een, slightly startled, turned to face the source of the sound. Standing before her were 3 men. The one in red spoke first. This face, I haven't seen it before. Are you new? So what? Jang Een replied curtly. I heard a rumor that your guild just recruited a new rookie. Isn't that the captain's armband? Is your guild so short-staffed that you had to make a rookie the captain? Hey, that move just now, was it your attribute martial art? The man in red was a member of the Black Moon Guild, and also the captain of the 5th Squad. His name was Kong Se-hyun. He was an acquaintance of Jang Een, and in the future, would even become her superior. Toward these guys, Imdauen felt no Gottville Vatsuva. She said coldly, cut the crap. What do you need? This damn slug explodes whenever it's touched, so none of US can get a clean sample. Linda knew right away what they were after the moment she heard that. So you want it? What if I don't like him? The guy in red flew off the handle at those words. Don't like him? How old are you? You're being disrespectful. Seeing that he was about to lose it, the other 2 quickly intervened. Kong, calm down, let's talk this through. There's no need to get so worked up. These 2, one was from the Warriors Guild, captain of the 3rd Squad. The other from the Royal Guild, captain of the 5th Squad. At this point, the guy in yellow started to chime in. Think about it, buddy. We'll be seeing each other on the battlefield for a long time to come. So, let's help each other out and complete the mission, alright? That sounds reasonable, but that trick only works on children. Sensing the rising tension, Baek Young-hee quickly intervened. No way. You have to refuse immediately. I'll send a complaint letter to those guilds later. Jang Een seemed all too familiar with situations like this. They'll just take it by force if you don't hand it over. He tossed the sack to the ground and casually sat on it. Take it if you can. This was a blatant provocation. The others began to fume. We tried to be reasonable, and yet you bastard dare to defy us? What do you want? Meanwhile, Jang Een quietly spoke to Lily as he gestured to her. Remember to illuminate the entire area, to scatter them. But Lily had a much more direct approach. She was asking, should we just burn them all alive and get over with? No, you'll get in serious trouble if you kill them. Just light the whole area up. And just as both sides were about to clash, suddenly in the sky, the gate widened further. From within, a gigantic slug emerged. The blue-haired man urgently ordered everyone to prepare for battle. Soon the crowd had surrounded the gigantic slug. One of the men deliberately shoved Linda aside. Stay out of this. If you act recklessly, we won't be held responsible. Don't complain if we hit you. Linda ignored them. Get this in the car, she told Lily. By now, the men were getting pummeled by the slug. What the hell is this thing? Can't we kill it? Some of the men had even been grabbed by the slug. Another one frantically gave the order, demanding everyone quickly sever the monster's tentacles to rescue their comrade. On the other side, Baek Young-hee also urged Jinwoo to join the fight. At least cut off one of the giant monster's tentacles to prove he was worthy of the spoils. But Jinwoo just smiled, calmly replying, there's no need to worry. With that level of pathetic strength, they won't even be able to touch. Meanwhile, the soldiers were still being tossed around like rag dolls by the giant snail. Everyone, focus on dealing with the surrounding tentacles first. This disgusting slime is melting our shields. Everyone, retreat from the danger zone immediately. Long-range attack team, get ready. Prepare to fire. They're completely different from the smaller ones we faced before. Lily watched the chaotic scene unfold, the hunters scrambling like chickens with their heads cut off. She was starting to get bored. How much longer do we have to sit here and watch this pathetic display? When are they finally going to leave? Suddenly, a hunter was about to be grabbed by the giant snail. It was Yang Guho, nicknamed the easily deceived king of the Black Hound Guild. But in this moment, he was truly giving everything he had to escape. As a result, he was captured by the giant snail, and it was preparing to devour him. Fortunately, in the nick of time, Linda In sliced off the monster's tentacle, saving him from the jaws of death. Linda In turned back and told him, "You're using your power all wrong. If you want to know how to use it correctly, come see me sometime. I'll show you, kid." The two immediately launched an attack on the snail. Lily quickly erected a wall of fire, enveloping them and obscuring the vision of the surrounding hunters. Bayok Young, he witnessed the scene, worried for their safety, and quickly urged the captain. "Look at the other heroes there. This is too reckless. Backup will arrive in 5 minutes. Be patient and wait for the right moment for us to fight together." But Jinwoo calmly replied, "Backup from other guilds will arrive soon, in just 5 minutes. Taking control of the situation ourselves will give us an advantage." Hearing this, Baek Yoonho immediately protested loudly. "Whether we can control it or not isn't important. This is too dangerous. Don't worry, I'll catch it and return safely." But what made Jinwoo so confident? Because he already had all the information about this monster. It's a variant-type monster, and there's a whole section dedicated to it in the manual. Remember this tactic, just in case. This monster's weakness is fire. When near fire, it will move as slow as a snail. With that in mind, Jinwoo immediately charged forward. At the same time, he signaled Yu Jinho to provide support. This colossal monster possesses the ability to regenerate its terrifying tentacles at an alarming rate. Thanks to its extraordinary regenerative powers, it's practically immortal. That's why he needs Lily's help. As Linda In swiftly maneuvered past the giant snail, he shouted, "Now's your chance. Go!" Without hesitation, Lily immediately channeled her magic, unleashing a fierce attack towards the snail. Fire is this snail's weakness. Its destructive power is terrifying. The tentacles sizzled and burned as they came into contact with the flames. At the same time, Linda In moved nimbly, continuously severing the monster's remaining tentacles. If we can sever all of its tentacles, it'll be forced to retreat into its shell to regenerate. But the entrance was sealed shut, just as the guidebook described. Lily was taken aback by this unexpected situation, unsure of what to do next. However, Linda In had anticipated this. He pulled out a large iron spike and said, "I took this from the car. It'll definitely come in handy. This monster shell is as hard as steel. If we want to attack from the outside, we need to target its weakest points first." With that in mind, he used his hands to pin iron nails into the vulnerable spots on its shell. Outside, the others were blocked by the wall of fire, completely unaware of what was happening inside. After a while, the nailing was finally complete. I have to target the center of the shell before it regenerates. Tentacles unleash a powerful blow to make absolutely sure. Jinda then used Thunder Fist to destroy the stubborn shell. The moment his fist hit the center of the shell, the iron nails on it began to resonate with each other. Finally, the shell shattered into pieces, revealing the snail within. Jinda himself suffered a considerable recoil. In that last test, using the double time ability for a whole day seems beyond my capabilities. Right now, I'm too weak to utilize this skill effectively. Seeing Jinwoo collapsed on the ground, Lily rushed over with a worried expression. "Are you okay? Did you get electrocuted?" Jinwoo could only shake his head in exasperation at his little sister's excessive worry. "In situations like this, you should be helping me out." Hearing Jinwoo say that, Lily helped him up. Then she asked, "Did you catch it? Can I take down the firewall now? Leave it up for a bit longer. We worked hard, so let's eat our fill." With that said, Jinwoo started cutting the monster's tentacles into small pieces. Then, he tossed them into a sack. "Get plenty. This bastard's tentacles are tender and nutritious." Lily, upon hearing this, became incredibly excited. She thought snail meat was a delicious delicacy, but the reality was quite different. It's a key ingredient for concocting mana potions, a precious elixir. On the other side of the battlefield, the support team members began establishing communication. "Captain Linda In, are you still in there? This is Bangu Hyok, captain of Squad 2. We've grasped the current situation. We'll be there shortly to assist. Wait, come in after I take down the firewall," Linda In hastily warned. Linda In urgently spoke to her teammate, because currently, she hadn't yet collected the most important item. Despite the support team's continuous urging, handling such a gigantic snail with only 2 people was impossible. Moreover, this was only their first day of actual combat, so they shouldn't be reckless. Don't push yourselves too hard. Just then, it seemed Linda In successfully retrieved what she needed. So, he asked Lily to disable the firewall. At that moment, the others started to enter. Seeing the monster lying motionless on the ground, long dead, they were astonished. Captain Linda spoke up. "Don't tell me you took down that monster alone." Linda calmly replied, "I risked my life doing it. But luckily, Lady Luck was on my side." The members of the other guilds were stunned in disbelief. How could he have done it? Something that even a few guild members combined might not have been able to accomplish. At this point, Linda started feeling exhausted and quickly spoke. "Captain Bang, please forgive me, but could you help me clean up this battlefield?" "No need, don't worry. You should rest. If you're seriously injured, return to the guild base for treatment," Captain Bang added. Linda briefly imagined Big Young-hee's furious face, feeling a bit apprehensive, but then she brushed it off. Resting first, that's the most important thing right now. And as a reward for today's hard-fought battle, Linda decided to prepare a feast for Lily. Seeing the table laden with food, Lily's mouth watered. Is this a dream? I'm going to catch another slug." The little girl shouted, clutching a chicken leg in both hands. On the other side, Linda also gulped down a large swig of beer and exclaimed, "This beer is so good." Witnessing Linda's actions, Lily started to think, "Do you have to say that every time you eat?" So Lily imitated her mother. The little girl said, while eating a chicken leg. Linda witnessed this scene and spat out her beer. "Oh no, I just cursed in front of her." "Hey kiddo, don't say that. That's a bad word." "But why did you say it?" Lily looked curious. "That's a rude thing to say, especially to a child like me." "Then why do you curse every time you eat chicken?" The next morning, Linda was meditating alone. "Now I can expand the influence of the Great Ocean Heart technique. It feels like I'm about to die. Although this is the result of relentless training. The Great Ocean Heart technique can only heal minor wounds, so I can't rely on it too much." Checking his phone, he was startled to realize that he had missed countless calls. As soon as he picked up, the voice on the other end roared, "Why is it so hard to reach you?" The caller was Big Young-hee. "After what happened yesterday, my body ached all over, so I slept in." "I'm sorry. Are you feeling better?" "Much better. What's up?" "We're recruiting more members for Squad 7. However, we'd love to hear your perspective from a captain's point of view." At that moment, Linda finally understood why they called him. It takes many members to form a complete team. The film crew, the rescue team, and the equipment support team all have to go to the battlefield together. The entire process is managed from Central Command, where strategists and secretaries oversee everything. They schedule the team's operations, as well as handle all the administrative work. A team's operational effectiveness heavily depends on the seamless coordination between each member. But Linda wasn't good at this, so he replied, "Just pick whoever you want." "Baek Young-hee, you have a good eye for people, don't you?" "Of course, I was the one who recruited you. Are you alright? We could have lunch and discuss this further." But Linda ignored the offer. "There's also one hunter I particularly want you to recruit. Yang Gu-ho, a member of the Black Moon Guild. Find a way to contact him." Moments later, Lim contacta Wagtungsu. Due to yesterday's intense battle, he granted him 3 extra days of rest. "Get some rest. Don't push yourself too hard. You're carrying the entire guild on your shoulders, aren't you? Once you've fully recovered, come back and take on the next mission." But Linda didn't want to listen to his rambling, so she hung up. "Lily, you said you were hungry, right?" "Wait a moment." "Thank you, sir. I will rest." That was just an excuse he made up to hang up. Meanwhile, Lily's eyes lit up at the mention of food. "Are we going to eat?" "Fried chicken. I'll make something even better than fried chicken. Not like last time. Fresh vegetables and snail meat blended together, combined with a core harvested from a monster's heart. It creates an incredibly nutritious mana stew. And this is the origin of the legendary stew, Hellfire Snail Stew. The color might look a little strange, but I added a lot of nutritious ingredients. Seeing this, Lily was speechless. She took a step back and cautiously said, "I ate a lot of chicken yesterday. I'm still full." "Really? That's a shame. Don't worry about it. You have no idea how good this is. I put in a lot of snail meat, too. I don't think there will be any leftovers for dinner." His words made Lily hesitate. "I'll eat it all if you don't want it. Don't worry." I changed my mind. I'll eat it all." Lily rushed forward as she spoke, blocking the hand. I was about to grab the pot of hellfire snail stew from Lilith, and this is all part of Lilith's scheme. Lily has let her guard down completely. You said you were going to finish all of this? The boy's words held a hint of danger. This really isn't good at all. Now Lily has completely lost faith in Linda In. To soothe the little girl's wounded heart, Linda In suggests, how about grilled pork for dinner tonight? What's grilled pork? It's even more expensive than fried chicken. I think life will be better if I could eat that. Lily's attitude immediately does a 180, so dinner is settled. Linda In is also getting ready to train a little. If we want to eat more, we have to take care of these monsters first. Come with me on a treasure hunt. The monsters that live at the dungeon gate all live in their own territories, including you. A mysterious relic from another dimension is hidden there. Inside that stone statue lies a priceless treasure. But before I could return to the past, the expedition team discovered it and took it away. This time I will be the one to find and claim it first. Observing carefully, he noticed that around 200 monsters were inhabiting the tribe. Although his strength had recovered thanks to the inner core, the overwhelming number of monsters far exceeded his capabilities. He devised a plan and instructed Lily. I'll sneak inside. Light the fire when you see my signal. After I get inside, and you see the signal, a fallen torch, immediately light the fire, but don't let it blaze too high. If you lose focus, the treasure will be stolen, understand? With that, he activated his stealth skill and casually walked through the main gate. It seems none of them have detected my presence, the strongest one here. Even I'm not entirely sure about this absolute invisibility. I'd estimate about 10 monsters guarding that statue. That number is still manageable. With that thought, he drew a sharp dagger from beneath his cloak. Suddenly, Jean also noticed a gigantic monster, much larger than the rest. It was Uru, the brutal chieftain with extraordinary power. He's a monster possessing terrifying strength. I witnessed that horrifying power firsthand during the confrontation with the expeditionary force years ago. In the past, this monster is incredibly dangerous. I must be extremely cautious. Best to stick to the original plan. Thinking this, he quickly picked up a stone and hurled it at a nearby torch, knocking it over. From above, Lily immediately recognized the signal. She began to manipulate the flames, making them rage fiercely. The sound reverberated louder near the gate. The chieftain, startled, immediately ordered his subordinates to investigate. This was the golden opportunity Linda had been waiting for. I'll break through the stone wall from here, and just as she thought that, the chieftain suddenly vanished without a trace. In a flash, he reappeared right behind Linda. Did he see through my invisibility? Fortunately, Linda reacted swiftly, narrowly dodging a fatal blow. This monster is too strong. I have to run. A thrilling chase ensued. Since she had been discovered, Linda no longer needed to maintain the mana-consuming invisibility spell. As she fled, she didn't forget to pull Lily along with her. After a heart-pounding escape, they finally evaded the chieftain's pursuit. But now, Linda had no idea where she had run to. Luckily, Lily recognized the place. As soon as they exited the gate, from a dimensional rift to her homeland, she emerged from that cave. As she spoke, she gestured towards the cave in front of them. At that time, there were a few strange men there too. They tried to kidnap me, so I ran away. Her words reminded Linda of the villains from years past. Could it be the Crimson Hand? The kid said their hideout is here. Why didn't I think they'd be hiding here? Right next to the monster village. If I prepare carefully, it seems like he's concocting a plan. Should we go in and scout around a bit? Linda muttered to himself, but Lily didn't want to set foot in that place. So, he told the little girl to hide in a secluded corner and gave her a walkie-talkie so that if anything went wrong, they could contact each other. Then, he entered the cave alone, using his cloaking ability to conceal his presence. The Red Serpent isn't just a small-time group. Could this be their secret headquarters? It's incredibly well guarded. Why would they establish a base so close to Uruk village? Just as he thought that, he saw several men in special protective gear, busily concocting something. Others were holding a strange white powder. Could it be snake venom? Just kidding, it's definitely drugs. This drug is a highly addictive substance, refined from rare, otherworldly herbs. And in the past, countless people fell victim to this deadly addiction. They lost their minds and ultimately their lives. The police spent years investigating this drug, but to no avail. To think they were hiding in such a remote place. Linda seized this opportunity to approach and observe. Currently, there are about 100 Red Serpent members here. They're armed, and about 30 men are processing opium. An estimated 50 kilograms of narcotics are being produced. I'm not sure about the current market price, but this shipment must be worth trillions of won. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the air, catching his attention. What did that guy just say? Are you kidding me? Demand has been skyrocketing lately, leaving our supply severely depleted. One of our guys got killed yesterday, so production has taken a significant hit. I told you to recruit more men. I apologize, boss, but we've been trying to find guys who would rather die than rat us out. It's hard to find anyone trustworthy. Hearing these words, his expression changes. Gotcha, you little rats. He immediately set his plan in motion to deal with them. First, smash the lights to cause chaos and panic. Next, carry out the crates of drugs one by one. Lily was waiting outside. Are you done yet, mister? Done with what? That was just a warm-up. Now, let's play a game of hide and seek. Hide and seek. We have a lot of people on our tail. We just need to make sure we don't get caught. Sounds like fun. It's dangerous. Stay hidden. Don't show your face. By now, the men had spotted Linda. There he is. Get that bastard. Facing the aggressive mob, Linda simply turned, a cynical smile playing on her lips. I'll take this. Thanks. And in return for that gratitude, a hail of bullets rained down. Fortunately, with his incredible speed, Jinwoo was able to dodge in time. In fact, with his abilities, shaking off his pursuers would be a piece of cake. However, doing so would be a waste. So, he decided to lure them to the location of the green-skinned creatures from before. In a blink of an eye, Jinwoo arrived at the orc village. And these green-skinned orcs, the moment they saw Jinwoo, they went into a frenzy. The gunman behind also realized the situation. It seemed they had walked right into a trap. To ensure both sides would clash, Jinwoo signaled for Lily to get out of the crate. Immediately after, he threw the crate filled with drugs towards the orcs. The Red Snake guild members were enraged. A confused underling, unsure of what to do, turned to ask his leader, "What should we do, boss? Kill all the monsters and get the drugs back, and then finish off that bastard." Meanwhile, Linda used her cloaking ability to escape. The green-skinned creatures and the gunmen started to exchange fire. These bullets inflict considerable damage to ordinary beings, but to their leader, they're nothing more than mosquito bites on stainless steel. He charged straight ahead, unfazed by the incoming fire. What the hell are you doing? Shoot. The bullets can't pierce its hide. As for the leader, once he reached his target, he swung his blade, decapitating one in a single stroke, and the bloody battle truly began. Linda and Lily were observing leisurely from above. When will this be over? I am starving. Be quiet and go somewhere else. Things aren't always as easy as you think. It looks like things down there are almost finished. Should we go down and clean up the mess? But at that moment below, the battle had already concluded. After the leader slaughtered all the gunmen, he gloated and celebrated his victory by raising his sharp blade. But his joy didn't even last 3 seconds before a dagger pierced his chest. Good work. Thanks for cleaning up that trash. Those were the last words the unfortunate leader heard. The one who struck the blow was none other than Linda. His plan was incredibly simple. Just let the two sides fight until they were exhausted, then show up and clean up the battlefield. Now that the leader was dead, the remaining troops were no longer a threat. They would be eliminated one by one. The green-skinned creatures panicked and fled when they saw their leader killed. With no one left to block his path, Linda swung his hammer and smashed the wall into pieces. Finally, he found the hidden treasure inside. Hidden within the statue was a special item called the Guardian Bracelet, a mystical artifact possessing the ability to restore the wearer's vitality and significantly enhance their physical condition. Moreover, it can channel mana to cast powerful protective spells, and when equipped as a pair, the artifact's power is amplified exponentially. The bracelet size automatically adjusts to fit the wearer. The man slipped it onto his hand, and the mana he'd just expended was fully restored. Amazing. It truly lives up to its reputation. Lily, standing beside him, asked curiously, "Is this a precious treasure?" "Exactly, kiddo," he replied with a smile. He then placed a similar bracelet on Lily's wrist. This action greatly surprised her, but Jinwoo quickly explained. It contains a protective spell. A normal person, just glancing at it, wouldn't be able to tell. Gazing at the bracelet on her wrist, Lily's face beamed with happiness. Really? That's amazing. It's just like yours. The reason he gave her the bracelet was because she was still too weak, and he couldn't always be by her side to protect her. So, this bracelet was the best way to prepare for unexpected dangers. And while Lily was still admiring the bracelet, Linda immediately spoke up. Let's have dinner a little later. I need to go back to the cave for a bit. Linda's words surprised Lily. What? Why do you have to go back there? I'll explain later. But first, Lily, burn this whole place down. Will we get to eat if I do that? No, but we'll have something much tastier later. Okay. With that, the little girl began to channel her magic. Gotta have energy to work, right? And with a single move, the village was engulfed in a raging inferno. I'm so hungry. Tasty treats await, she yelled as she continued to cast her spells, incinerating everything. Lily's actions sent a shiver down Linda's spine. If I let her go hungry for even a day, I won't have a moment's peace. Afterwards, he and Lily returned to the cave. A few stubborn soldiers remained inside. The moment they spotted the intruder, they immediately opened fire, not missing a single shot. But the shield generated by the bracelet rendered their bullets completely useless. Not a scratch. Pay attention, kid. With this bracelet, you can do the same. Limdane instructed Lily. Limdane patiently guided Lily. Lily immediately grasped how to use it, although her shield was somewhat smaller than Limdane's. However, she could even change its shape and manipulate the shield with impressive dexterity. She used the shield offensively, transforming it into a formidable weapon. This display made Limdane acutely aware of the vast difference between an ordinary person and a genius. After a brief skirmish, only one enemy remained. You're quite smart, aren't you? Knowing you can't win, you immediately kneel and beg for mercy. Please, spare me. I'll tell you everything about the organization. What the hell just happened? That captain just moments ago was adamant that they only recruited individuals who would rather die than breathe a word. And yet this guy spilled the beans so easily. But for a pragmatist like Linda, he couldn't care less about that information. Bring me the safe. That's what he truly cared about. 1 hour later, money in his pocket, the cave completely destroyed. A secret hideout? For Linda, nothing mattered but the money. I've made a pretty good haul here. Thinking that, he turned to Lily. Kid, if you've torched this place, you can drop that shield now. Lily wondered, but what if they try to run? Don't worry, they have nowhere to go. There are about 30 of them left, including Red Snake members and drug manufacturers. Linda wouldn't take their lives. But since they were involved in illegal drug production, she wasn't going to let them off easy. She turned to one of them and ordered, You, Pat Bing-Su, come with me. This was the one who had begged for his life earlier, his face covered in cuts and bruises. Courtesy of Linda for running his mouth. Why am I Pat Bing-Su? Because your face looks just like a Pat Bing-Su. He does look like a Pat Bing-Su. Come on, follow Lily to my tent. The rest of you, go to the guard post inside the restricted area and turn yourselves in. The remaining men started to protest loudly, thinking they would be pardoned. But life wasn't that kind. To these fools, Linda's voice boomed, silencing them. Do you actually believe your actions were legal? If you keep playing dumb, I'll beat you until you learn your lesson. Left with no other choice, the group had to turn themselves in at the police station. But at this moment, Jin-Woo felt a pang of worry, because when they were taken to the police station, they might rat him and Lily out. He could only hope that the police officer wouldn't take their statements too seriously. The giant Kim Suho. In this life, I must forge a connection with him. After carefully observing and making sure they had all gone to confess, Jin-Woo finally headed back. As he walked, he thought, You've worked hard today, kiddo. I should buy you something delicious. Meanwhile, back at the shack, Lily was rolling around and screaming at the top of her lungs. I'm so hungry. I'm starving. I'm gonna die from hunger. Her antics left the red rice cake speechless and in tears. He couldn't even understand what the heck she was doing. A moment later, Lily was nagging Jin-Woo. You promised me a feast, like fried chicken. Linda said to the little girl, holding out a black plastic bag. This is also delicious. It may not be fragrant, but it melts in your mouth. Snails again? But today, Linda wasn't lying. Inside the bag was high-quality pork. Immediately after, He ordered tekbaki to prepare the grill. Note, assuming Bongao Do refers to the dish tekbaki, a character named tekbaki would be unusual. 2 pieces of pork belly were grilled to perfection, golden and enticing, along with fragrant roasted garlic and fresh spring onion salad. Using a perilla leaf and a young lettuce leaf. Roll everything together and enjoy it all in one bite. The amazing flavor made Lily's cheeks puff out as she chewed happily. Unbelievable. It's really good, kiddo. You're getting food everywhere. Swallow your food before you talk. For days quickly passed, and now it's time to get down to business. For the past 4 days, Lee Do-in used the guild's reward money to buy the land next to his tent. The money was a bonus from a guild contract. Park Jae-do, whom he brought along thinking he would be useful, was now busily building a small wooden house. He was even proudly boasting about his skills. 3 years of experience in construction, 3 years as a cook, cleaning, and so on and so forth. I've done all sorts of jobs. Thanks to you, sir, I have a chance at new life. Therefore, I will train myself and become a hard-working man. But Lee Do-in seemed indifferent to his boasting. Lee Do-in replied apathetically, "Oh, all right, just work hard for the next 3 years." Park Jae-do could only lower his head and obey. "Yes, sir." And so, Park Jae-do became a eunuch, because Lee Do-in had sealed a pressure point on a part of his body to ensure that he could never escape. As long as he remained ignorant of martial arts, he'll be completely helpless against that technique. Therefore, he has absolutely no chance of escaping. Linda plots to turn him into a common errand boy, obedient to her every command. This plan will span 3 long years. Afterward, he'll be given a pittance and discarded like a broken toy. At the White House Guild Management Headquarters, a moment later, Baek Yoon-hae is excitedly announcing good news. "I've just been appointed as a temporary assistant for Team 7. It's a brand new team, so they need someone with experience, right?" Linda seems somewhat skeptical about this. "You're sure it's only temporary? Someone else will come along later, right?" "Of course. I'm an incredibly busy person." Immediately after, Baek Yoon-hae hands Linda a thick stack of documents and says, "You'll officially start your assignment tomorrow. But today, your task is to memorize every single piece of information in this document." Looking at the thick file, Linda seemed to have some regrets. He should have rested more over the past 3 days. Inside this file, a mission to destroy a spatial gate made Linda hesitate. I remember there was a clause in the contract, refusing long-term missions. "Right, Young?" he asked, a puzzled expression on her face. This mission was assigned by the government a few days ago. According to information from the government, 4 guilds will participate. The estimated time to clear the dungeon is 2 days, and based on everyone's schedule, Team 7 is the only team that fits. However, in Linda's view, the government's predictions were often unreliable. Speaking of monster gates, we can classify them into 2 types. Type A, where the gate automatically disappears after all the monsters have poured out. To seal this gate, we just need to eliminate all the monsters. Next, in a Type B scenario, when the gate doesn't close automatically after all the monsters are released, or if no monsters emerge at all. In this situation, someone needs to enter the gate and exterminate them all, then destroy the central pillar to escape. Typically, a Type B dungeon clearing mission is called a gate subjugation mission. Just then, Linda felt a sense of familiarity with the location in the photo. It seemed to be one of the most disastrous gates that appeared after the first gate, the labyrinth of fallen souls. Before regressing, back when I was an instructor, I always mentioned this place because of its terrifying reputation. If I had participated in missions like this before, I would have certainly died. Noticing Linda Yin's hesitation, Baek Yoon-hae spoke up. "You had some trouble with another guild before, didn't you? If that's a problem, I can assign this mission to another guild." But Linda Yin immediately refused. "No, Team 7 will handle this mission." She then got in her car and left. Meanwhile, he thought to himself, "I need a powerful tank to clear this gate." Recruiting Wang Jianwu is taking longer than expected, probably because of the termination fee. I'll have to go get him myself. Time is running out. The 3 of them then headed towards the Black Moon Society's headquarters. This was also his future workplace. As soon as the 3 arrived, they were greeted by a few guild members. "It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Kim Hyante from the Black Knight Guild. This is Yang Gu-ho, and beside him is our leader, Kong Seo-hee. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Lin Do-in." As they spoke, the 2 shook hands enthusiastically. I wonder if this friendly atmosphere will last. In the meeting room, the man in red got straight to the point. I've heard a lot about your reputation. You want to invite Wang Gujiology to the White House Guild? But Wang Gujiology is an exceptional talent in our guild. Blah, blah, blah. Linda knew this guy was just bragging. This guy is the guild leader's cousin, and he's the one who handles the guild's dirty work. So, he might make an unreasonable demand to cancel the contract. After his boasting, Baek Young-hui said with a smile, "We understand the Black Knight Guild's position on this matter, but paying $5 billion to cancel the contract is..." Before she could finish, the man interrupted, "Oh my, not $5 billion. I don't think you're aware that Wang Google has renewed their contract with us this morning. And under the renewed terms, the termination fee is $10 billion. If you pay $10 billion, then we'll let you take Wang Google." This declaration made Baek Young-hee's face pale. As for Linda In, she felt a surge of anger. He's deliberately provoking us. He's intentionally making things difficult. There must be security cameras here. Thinking of this, he spoke up. Ms. Baek Young-hee stopped. Baek Young-hee was about to say something more, but ultimately, no words came out. The man in red remained smug. "Are you leaving already? Don't tell me Linda In wants Wang Google that badly. It seems we misjudged the situation. If you change your mind, contact us." And it looks like the little one is quite enjoying that pastry. Perhaps on your way back, you should swing by a hospital, because that thing expired ages ago. That remark was the final straw for Lim Dae-in. "You son of a bitch," Lim Dae-in thought as he delivered a resounding slap to the man's face. The blue-haired man rushed forward, trying to act tough, but before he could do anything, he was met with a flurry of punches and kicks. Finally, he was sent flying out the door with a powerful kick. Seeing this, the guards outside charged in menacingly, knives drawn. "If you want to mess with our guild, you better think twice. Are you sure you're stronger than us?" But by now, Lim Dae-in was truly enraged. "Cut the crap. Call your guild leader out here. If you want me to fall for this cheap provocation, then fine." Beside him, Baek Young-hee quickly intervened. "No matter how angry you are, you shouldn't do this to them." Despite her words, her demeanor told a different story. Linda then made sure to warn Lily never to carelessly accept strange food from others again. Finally, she turned towards the mastermind behind everything. "Wang Guho, you and I need to have a serious talk." Her commanding words made Wang Guho tremble uncontrollably. Just then, a powerful surge of killing intent erupted from outside, instantly alerting Linda to the danger. This intense killing intent. The head of the Black Moon Society has arrived. This guild leader possessed a sinister, cunning face. He was known as the Devil King, Kim Tae-jin, one of the first to awaken with abilities. Kim Tae-jin spoke as soon as he saw everyone. "You summoned me? I demand a proper explanation for all the chaos that's happening here." Hearing his words, Linda wanted to curse him out. He was clearly feigning ignorance. After observing everything through the surveillance monitors, Jinwoo responded calmly. "All right. I'll tell you everything that happened. In exchange, let the others go." His offer made Baek Young-hee a bit anxious, but Kim Tae-jin seemed to approve. "You're a reliable teammate. If you take full responsibility, we'll agree." Then, Jinwoo turned to Lily and said, "Kiddo, go with her to the guild and wait for me to come back." But Lily proved to be much more stubborn. "Should I burn this place down?" Hearing that, Jinwoo immediately got angry. Pinching her cheek, "Don't be so reckless. If you play with fire without my permission, you'll never get to eat fried chicken again." A moment later, when everyone had left, Jinwoo spoke up. "What do you want from me? I'll be blunt. Why don't you join my team?" He finished speaking and presented a tempting contract. However, Linda didn't rush to take it. "Is this a probing offer? To recruit me, you'd have to pay a hefty transfer fee." But this guild leader was incredibly cunning. He had anticipated that. "I'm not asking you to leave your current guild. You can still continue to contribute to the White House Guild. You just need to regularly provide me with some information." Linda immediately understood his true intentions. He wanted her to be his spy. "I assure you, you'll be handsomely rewarded. If you consider this contract, you'll see this isn't a bad offer. And what if I refuse?" Linda encountered. "Then you'll have to bear the consequences for the trouble you've caused here. I'm afraid I might accidentally render you permanently unable to use a hand or two." His voice dripped with menace. Outside the building, Baek Chansu somehow had arrived. Kim Tae-jin released Captain Linda immediately. "If I count to 10 and you don't release her, I'm coming in there. Let her go." He roared with fury, his hand gripping a sharp blade. But he had barely counted to 1 when a voice called out, "Guildmaster, What are you doing here? Baek Chang-soo looked at Linda in surprise. Captain Linda in? Big Young, he said they were holding you captive. Oh no, that's not true. I sincerely apologized to them, and they accepted my apology. Perhaps my sincerity moved them. They even gave me a gift. Linda in said cheerfully, holding up a gift bag, rewinding time back to an hour earlier. The reason why Linda in was able to leave that place unscathed was because he held a shocking secret about the chairman. Chairman, before you continue, I'd like to ask, the relationship between you and your sister-in-law seems quite passionate, doesn't it? If I were to reveal this, would you be upset? The truth about the shady relationship between you and your brother's wife. If I may, I'll investigate this myself. Linda In's words made the chairman's face completely change color. Now, how did you know that? But Linda In had no intention of answering his question. If you want to keep this hidden, consider my offer. First, hand over Wang Gogol without charging any fees. Terminate the contract immediately. The details regarding additional fees are as per my terms. And now, show it to me immediately. The chairman was boiling with rage, but he couldn't do anything. The reason he knew this was because in the future, this matter was exposed. Finally, the truth about him came to light. Both his younger brother and sister-in-law had taken their own lives in grief and despair. Shaken by the tragedy, Kim Tae-jin decided to retire. Perhaps, no matter what happened, he still wanted me to keep this secret. Back at the guild office, Baek Chang-soo was still in shock, unable to believe that Jin-woo could return so easily. That brat is incredibly cunning. He would never let you off that easily. Tell me the truth. I'll confront him myself. Tell me everything, and I will personally deal with him. But those were just empty words. Park Young-hee was all too familiar with such hollow pronouncements. Chairman, you don't actually intend to do that, do you? You should be grateful that everything worked out peacefully. Park Young-hee's blunt words left Baek Chang-soo feeling incredibly awkward. As for Jin-woo, he noticed that Jae-woo, since returning, seemed quieter than usual. Seeing this, he patted her head and said, "See, I told you we didn't need to resort to violence to solve the problem." But despite his concern, Lily simply said, "I'm hungry." It turned out that all the worried expressions just now were simply because she was feeling hungry. Park Yang-hui, standing beside them, spoke up. The atmosphere was so tense earlier, she must have been shocked. And to soothe Lily's young heart, the group decided to enjoy some fried chicken together. Linda and felt incredibly grateful towards the two people in front of her. If the guild were their top priority, they certainly wouldn't have come to save him. Joining the White House Guild turned out to be a wise decision. The next day, Baek Jang-soo came to see Linda in with a backpack. Upon meeting him, he bowed his head and apologized profusely for yesterday's incident. "I'm so sorry about yesterday. Guild leader," begging me on their knees to extend their contract. Faced with this plea, Linda In remained calm. It seemed he was all too familiar with this type of desperate fool, to the point where he was now immune. Then, Linda In gestured for him to sit down and began to speak. "I finalized the paperwork yesterday. Starting today, you're officially the Wong of our team. Just call me Captain." "Yes, Captain." Wang Gyul grew up in an orphanage. He was an introverted person, always wary of those around him. Because of this, his former friends took advantage of his trusting nature, and he lost his life in the first disaster. At this moment, Wang Gyul was also wondering why someone as talented as Linda In would choose a useless person like him to be Wong. "Because I need you." Worried that Linda In hadn't made herself clear, Wang Gyul hastily added, "In case you're not aware, let me tell you this. This is my special ability." As he finished speaking, his hands began to turn to stone. But before he could show off his power, Linda slammed him to the ground. "Stay put." The reason is because Linda was already too familiar with this type of superpower. In the future, there will be an incredibly powerful hunter, known as the Moving Fortress, Jahun mentioned. By the age of 15, he will become a transcendent hero, admired and respected by all. And Jahun mentioned is also a master of petrification, just like Yang Goho, Uvevitnist Ferstend, the stones created by Jahun mentioned when he was still a rookie. But Wang Goho's body is even tougher than that. Now that I've touched it, I'm absolutely certain. Lost in thought, Linda Li lightly tapped Wang Jianyu to examine him. That was enough for her to confidently assert that Wang Jianyu's petrification ability was even superior to Jihua Minchion's. Linda Li raised a finger, resolutely telling Wang Jianyu, 1 year? No, in just 6 months, you will dominate the rankings, becoming the strongest in Seoul. I guarantee it. Wang Jianyu couldn't believe his ears. A weakling like him. How could he ever reach that level? But Linda Lee stood firm in her assessment. You say your friend lacks the talent for endurance? I will bestow upon you the talent you denied him. At this moment, Linda Lee seemed like a living saint, at least in Wang Jianyu's eyes. He was truly convinced by Linda Lee's words. Meanwhile, Red Bean Bun had also finished his special dish to welcome the new recruits. A stew of monster organs and a special course soup was served. The soup had a strange, purplish color, looking like some kind of deadly, toxic chemical. The sight horrified everyone. Just then, Linda ordered everyone to drink the entire bowl of soup, 3 full bowls each. For the next 4 days, we will train intensely to prepare for the conquest of the fallen soul's labyrinth. And so, everyone had to force themselves to swallow the horrifying dish. 2 days later, at the monster hunting mission site, the group was battling a ferocious white lion. For some reason, Wang Gun, who was in charge of defense, kept sneaking behind his teammates. This action infuriated Linda. You're the tanker, yet you're scared to death. If you feel guilty towards your teammates, then defend properly. Left with no other choice, he charged forward, facing the ferocious lion head-on. From behind, Linda Een urged him on with a relentless command. Get closer, as close as you can. Then petrify it immediately. Over the past 2 days, Wang Guho had consumed 3 bowls of nourishing manna oil soup, along with 5 daily meals specifically designed for training. The results of his training were becoming evident. His petrification skill was growing stronger and more refined. That was the reason why, despite enduring the lion's ferocious attacks, he could still stand firm and resist. Though pain racked his body, he told himself, just hold on for 1 more minute. If you give up, you'll have to eat 6 mana-rich meals. Linda and both encouraged and threatened. This forced Wang Guho to exert all his strength, gritting his teeth and enduring. Linda N's reason for doing this was because of the nature of petrification. The more it's broken, the stronger it becomes. So, Wang Guho had to endure such utter despair to achieve this result. This training method has been scientifically proven to be effective for training. Which specific branch of science? I'm not quite sure. Seeing that Wang Guho had completed it excellently, Linda Y turned to Lily and said, Your turn, kiddo. But the little girl immediately refused. I won't do it, having to eat such awful things every day, and you don't even buy me chicken anymore. Tonight's dinner is fried chicken. These words were like a magic spell, instantly activating Lily's hidden power. Her spirits suddenly soared to 200%. Wang Guho, get out of the way, or you'll get hurt. With just a single blow, the stone lion vanished into thin air. But Linda Een wasn't satisfied, kid. Turning it to ash like this, how can we get a sample if you can't control your flames? We won't have chicken for dinner tonight. His words made Lily's eyes widen in surprise. Left with no other choice, Linda was forced to contact command. She requested they pinpoint the location of the other monsters. According to the initial report, 8 one-horned white tigers have appeared before Gate 2, 10 minutes earlier. We need to eliminate 1 more to gather research samples. Move out. Command Center just sent a signal heading 7 o'clock. Mobile target acquired. However, the Warrior Guild seems to be closer to the target than we are. The distance between Linda N's group and the target is 2 kilometers, while the Warrior Squad is only 1 kilometer away from target. We can't let the Warrior Guild steal the target. Linda N immediately accelerates to gain the advantage. Lily and Wang Guho will follow close behind for support. After giving the order to Lily, Linda N shot off, his speed so tremendous it broke the sound barrier. Boom! All this time, Linda N has been constantly training with his teammates and absorbing energy from magically enriched food. Although he hasn't reached the same level as before his regression, his power has made remarkable progress. In the blink of an eye, he arrived at the target's location. At the same time, he noticed several members of the Warriors Guild surrounding the ferocious lion. At this moment, the guild warriors were shouting, coordinating with each other, preparing to unleash their magic to destroy the beast. If they attacked first, dividing the spoils would become incredibly complicated. Linda's beauty salon. To prevent this from happening, he instantly executed a special technique called Crescent Moon Shadow Technique. This technique allowed him to drastically increase his speed and charge towards the roaring lion. With a single fatal blow, he ended the monster's life in an instant. Those who witnessed this scene were utterly astonished. Impossible. Is he a hunter from some secret clan? Otherwise, his speed couldn't be that fast. Afterwards, Linda immediately reported the results to headquarters and requested the location of the next target. This time, Lily was the primary target eliminator. After taking down the monster, she excitedly bragged about her accomplishment to Lim. "I made short work of it this time, didn't I?" she asked with a proud look. "Let's have a huge fried chicken feast tonight, and we can take samples from this monster." Just then, headquarters announced that no other creatures had appeared. The dimensional gate was destroyed. Mission accomplished. "Excellent work, Team 7. A voice boomed from headquarters. "You have completed your mission with flying colors." Soon after, members of the support team arrived at the scene. "Is the captain injured?" a worried voice asked. "I'm fine." Someone wiped Lily's hands for her. The person who asked was the medical team leader, Jang Een. At the same time, another member of the support team announced, "Captain, we have the video. Let's all watch it." This person was the recording team leader, Jang Een. He seemed to be Jin Nam's twin brother. So, the names are quite similar. While Jinwoo was reviewing the video, someone else arrived to help him remove his equipment. This person was the head of the equipment support team, John Seola. All three of them were personally recruited by Baek Yoon-ho. Each possessed an outstanding reputation and promised a bright future in their respective fields. His recruiting secrets remained a mystery. After watching the video, Jinwoo turned to them and said, "Since we're just starting to work together, I haven't memorized all your names yet, but don't take it personally. I understand working with a hunter is tough work. When I return from the dungeon, there will be rewards and rest time for everyone. I hope that from now on we can support each other." Jinwoo's sincere words made the atmosphere more comfortable and friendly. On the drive back, the driver unexpectedly complimented team leader Jinwoo. "You're really famous. I just knew what needed to be done at the scene." In the past, Jinwoo used to just follow orders, and then he left the guild because he was tired of it. But now that he's back, the team members don't have to feel that way anymore. Soon after, they arrived back at the White Guild headquarters. Upon meeting him, Baek Yoon-hee complimented him. "Team leader, you're quite the smooth talker. Are you living a second life or something? Enough joking around. Let's get down to business. I said there was something important to discuss." Baek Yoon-hee didn't beat around the bush. She directly handed him a list and said, "These are the items you requested. The custom equipment you ordered from the workshop will be ready in 2 days." This was excellent news for Linda and, as they were pressed for time. So, she had prepared everything meticulously and thoroughly. Baek Young-hui then provided Linda in with information regarding the person Linda in had requested to be investigated earlier. "I'm afraid it will be difficult, because we don't have any information besides his name. But there are some videos of items he's crafted online." And the moment she saw the boy's image, Linda knew she had found the right person. This boy, in the future, would become the only item crafting hunter in Korea. Jang Een, where is he? Linda asked Baek Young-hui directly. A thought arose within her. She had to recruit this boy immediately. She needed to find Jang Een now. To ensure the plan went off without a hitch, Linda bribed Lily with 4 tempting meals, boneless chicken feet, and a large order of fries, in exchange for her wearing this cute outfit and accompanying Yang Yozian to a predetermined location. On their way, Linda reminded Lily to remember everything she had told her earlier. Soon, they arrived at their destination, a barbershop. The person cutting Yozian's hair was Jang Yozian's mother. Linda started the conversation. "There's so many fun toys here. You know how much my son loves to play around," she said with a chuckle. At the same time, Lily began to act according to plan. "Appa, I'm bored. I can't sit still anymore. Oh, this is so cute. Be careful, it might break. Don't touch anything." Linda quickly chimed in. "I think I saw this one before when we went to get fried chicken. It's so cute," Lily said, hugging a cute little doll tightly in her arms. I really couldn't tell if she was putting on an act or being genuine. Beside us, the shop owner spoke up, explaining, "Ah, that's something my son made. If you like it, you can have it." Linda quickly interjected, "I'm sorry, my little sister is a bit mischievous. Please excuse her." "It's all right, I understand." Linda then asked, "How old is your son?" "He's 13. Kang Yu-shin." The son of the barbershop owner, Mark, has savant syndrome. Savant syndrome? Yes, a rare condition. It only occurs in a very small number of people with autism. These individuals often display extraordinary talent in a specific field. Because of this, therefore, his social skills are quite limited. and he's not particularly interested in talking to many people. Linda's plan is to approach Kang Yoon-shin as naturally as possible. First, he needs to come here more often. Kang Yoon-shin's mother adds. He's probably tinkering with something in the back room right now. Oh, really? I hope we're not disturbing him. It'll be fine. He's deeply focused, so he definitely won't hear anything. But Linda has a different theory. If we don't whisper, I bet he'll hear us. If he's a hunter, should I try it right here? Thinking this, he suddenly releases a bit of mana. Kang Yoon-shin, in his room, immediately senses the fluctuation. He quickly opens the door and asks, Mom, what's going on? Seeing her usually reserved son suddenly emerge, making his mother gasp, Oh my, what brought you out here? Why did you leave your room without permission? This action confirmed Linda's hypothesis. Jinwoo's judgment was accurate, based on the boy immediately stepping out. I guess he can sense mana. The mana I'm emitting. He really is a hunter. With her instinctive fried chicken plan, Lily immediately picked up on the signals from Linda and Jinwoo. She immediately began her performance. First, she cheerfully ran straight to Jang Ee-soo and asked, Did you make this? It's so cute. How did you do it? Next, she continued the conversation to build rapport. Finally, Lily praised Jang Ee-soo with a bright smile. Amazing. You're so good. And in just a few minutes, the boy was instantly smitten by Lily. From the flattering compliments, Ee-soo bashfully replied, No, it's not that great. Watching the two youngsters chatting happily, which pleased Lindsay quite a bit. Her Korean was still a little clumsy, but she was trying her best, all fueled by an intense craving for 4 boneless chicken strips. I got even more amazing things inside. Should I show you? You must be really curious. Things seem to be moving a little too fast, leaving Lindsay with a head full of questions. Even her mother's jaw dropped in astonishment. I can't believe my Yang Yeonjin is talking to someone like that. But then, a more outlandish thought crossed Lindsay's mind. That kid, don't tell me he's fallen for her. But either way, this is a good thing. If he could secure Yang Yeonjin, who would craft tools for hunters, worth hundreds of billions of won in the future, it would be a massive win. And the very next day, Yang Yeonjin became a member and crafted these combat uniforms. Clad in the new uniform, Linda seemed much more confident. This is definitely the hide of the URU monster leader. It's fantastic to use it for combat uniforms, kid. What do you think of this new suit? It's so comfortable and amazing. There's even fried chicken and pizza on it. I really like pizza too. Jang Een intentionally added those 2 images. He did it on purpose. The fried chicken that Lily likes and the pizza that he likes. Seeing everyone with new uniforms, Gwang-gu eagerly asked the captain. He excitedly ran over and asked, What about my combat uniform? What do you need a combat uniform for? At the same time, Big Young Hui also announced that Team 5 would provide on-site support. She said that they had completed preparations. Should we head over there now? Let's go. By the way, Captain, did you change your style? I bet styling that wavy hair isn't easy. Moments later, at the entrance to the labyrinth, Byung-hui was in a heated argument with the manager. What the hell are you talking about? You mean they went in already? I just sent them in. They said the plan changed. And they said White House will be coming in later. Who said that? Bui-huad. There will be 4 guilds participating in this operation, including White House, Warriors Guild, Black Eclipse Guild, and Red Sharks Guild. Just a glance is enough to see that the 3 guild are trying to block them. It's done. Making a fuss won't solve anything, Linda said calmly. Complaining won't help. Let's come up with a plan. Come up with a plan immediately. But Byung-hui's worry was evident. Now, even if we get in, we won't gain much. I am sorry. I should have confirmed the information beforehand. Don't blame yourself. Who knows? Maybe we'll stumble upon a more ideal spot. Moments later, the entire caravan entered the dungeon. They had been traveling for 2 hours straight, and the area outside the dungeon had been completely picked clean by previous groups. Initially, the Rotten Soul Labyrinth was ranked a B-class dungeon, but after 7 consecutive failed conquests, its difficulty level gradually increased, until finally it became one of the most dangerous dungeons. Suddenly, Linda noticed something amiss, and immediately ordered the entire caravan to halt. She instructed Wang Guho to stay behind and guard the vehicles, while she went ahead to scout. The reason this dungeon was called the Rotten Soul Labyrinth was because it had the ability to transform those who lost their way inside into monsters, truly living up to its reputation as the most challenging dungeon. Those who rushed in first have already turned into zombies. Judging by their attire, Linda surmised They were most likely members of the Red Shark Guild. Looking at their condition, it was clear they'd been attacked by zombie bees. The venom of the zombie bees was potent enough to pierce even combat gear. They were probably caught off guard, ambushed. Surely, this happened when they were separated from their main unit. How unfortunate. With the horde of zombies closing in, the situation dire, Linda said to Wang Hu, "Show us what you've learned." Wang Hu was taken aback, facing danger alone. But he was the most logical choice at this moment, because he possessed the ability to create protective shields. The others, if they charged in and were bitten or scratched, then turned into zombies, it would be disastrous. Seeing Wang Hu hesitate, Linda shoved him towards the zombie horde. Left with no other choice, Wang Jianwu instantly coated his hands in a layer of solid rock, preparing to confront the ferocious zombies. Linda Een seemed quite impressed by the display. His rock form seemed stronger than during training, doesn't it? Just as Wang Jianwu was about to attack the zombies, Linda Een quickly reminded him, "You remember, Jianwu? Don't kill them. Don't kill them? Then what? What am I supposed to do?" Wang Jianwu's understanding was simple. Just knock them out, right? But Lily, standing behind them, seemed bored. "This is boring. Just burn them all. They're not just civilians. They're members of another guild. So, absolutely do not kill them. They still have a chance to be cured from their zombified state." In the background, the support team was diligently recording the entire event. They'll use this evidence to demand compensation for damages. Meanwhile, CEO John has already prepared the equipment. "I've also prepared insect repellent gear. You're quick to prepare. I'll gear up and handle them. To be safe." They've also brought antidotes. It's the key to this dungeon raid. Meanwhile, Linda is observing Yang Guho's battle. It looks like he's reaching his limit. The ones he easily took down must be from the support team. Those who are still fighting fiercely must be the hunters. Seeing Wang Guho unable to hold on any longer, Linda starts to make her move. With just 2 fingers, she effortlessly takes them down. This leaves Wang Guho utterly astonished. How could she do that so easily? In the blink of an eye, they all collapsed. Linda, quickly, Wang Jian, line these people up in a row and prepare the antidote for them immediately. Based on my preparations for this attack on the Rotten Soul Labyrinth, among them, there's an antidote for the zombie bee venom. There's a 10-minute window after being stung by a zombie bee. After 10 minutes, they'll start exhibiting unusual behavior. And after 30 minutes, they'll completely transform into hive-protecting slaves. I can't be sure if it's been over 30 minutes, because they were already poisoned. Even when I use this antidote, there could still be lasting brain damage after they wake up. He turned to address the people behind him. "Step back a bit. I need to concentrate." "All right, I'll save everyone. So cooperate with me. Understand? Those born with natural talent only need to focus on honing their gifted abilities. But for ordinary people like us, if we want to increase our chances of survival, we need to equip ourselves with some additional skills. That's the reason why, in my past life, I journeyed through countless different dimensions, from the mystical Gaia continent to the perilous Martial world, and even the dark abyss and the enigmatic Biden continent. My survival until now is entirely thanks to the magic and martial arts I learned. On each journey, this whistle is one of the treasures I stumbled upon. It has the ability to control creatures with low intelligence. And currently, Linda, she's using it to command the zombies that you just eliminated. From now on, you'll fight alongside us. Do you understand, brats? Hearing Linda's command, they nodded their heads vigorously like chickens pecking at grain. "Great, if we're all agreed, then let's do this. Now, listen to my instructions. We're starting the zombie bee hunt. Let's move." Immediately, the group quickly geared up in protective suits and set off to hunt the zombie bees. But just then, Wang Guho succeeded in capturing the queen bee. "Captain, I've caught the queen, but there's still a lot of worker bees swarming around." "Excellent. Catching the queen means the mission is almost complete." Linda immediately ordered Lily to use firepower to eliminate the remaining worker bees. "Once we're done, let's go grab some lunch." After everything was settled, John Co. looked suspicious and asked, "I can't believe how well the Red Sharks cooperated with us." "Captain, you didn't pull any strings, did you?" "Of course not. They said they would cooperate with us to show their gratitude towards me." Then, Linda turned to Lily. "Insect repellent suit inspection complete. Let's continue our journey." "Roger that." The group then resumed their perilous journey. It wasn't long before they encountered more undead. Judging by their attire, they appear to be members of the Black Devil Society. Despite Linda having little fondness for these individuals, he allowed them to join the ranks, hoping they would show gratitude and atone for their past mistakes. But at the same time, Linda was wondering, what's going on? Everything seemed to be going much smoother than he anticipated. And on the fourth day, John Co. announced that their food supplies have been ravaged by monsters. Bring it here. Based on the freshness of the bite marks, it could be assumed the monsters are still within the vicinity. Where's the whistle? Following Lindian's command, Lily began to blow the whistle loudly. Immediately, a group of workers sprang into action, searching high and low for the rats. Everything was going smoothly, perhaps because little Lily was enjoying controlling everyone. I had prepared meticulously, making contingency plans for various unforeseen circumstances. But surprisingly, everything was going incredibly well. However, we still had to be vigilant, because the boss monster was still lurking somewhere out there. And not long after, they truly faced the mid-level boss. Its name was Falling Mirror Demon. Behind it was a horde of control zombies. Jang Een immediately ordered everyone to prepare for battle. Everyone prepared to engage. The cargo trucks retreated. Wang Jianwu charged forward to provide support. At the same time, Linda Lin blew her whistle, signaling her subordinates to attack. These individuals were all brainwashed. Therefore, that demonic mirror wouldn't have any effect on them. These bat monsters use the mirror to create illusions for anyone who accidentally looks into the mirror on their heads and then turns them into puppets. I have to warn everyone in the group to be careful. Thinking that, he quickly warned Yang Guho to be cautious. Don't look at the mirror. But his warning came too late. Wang Jianwu had been controlled. Useless, both Linda Lin and Lily exclaimed. Left with no other choice, Linda Lin said. Removed as instructed due to redundancy with line 456. Kid, use your flames to stop them. Everyone retreat. At least 2 kilometers. I'll go gather intel. Then I'll rendezvous back with everyone. Following his instructions, the support team scattered and ran. Now, only Lily and Lim Dane remained behind. Lily spoke up. So now, I just need to burn everything here, right? Under normal circumstances, I would agree with you. But the situation is critical. Quickly, get out of this dangerous place immediately. Lim Dane activated his cloaking spell, stealthily moving through the crowd of controlled people. At the same time, he scanned his surroundings, searching for the bat. As soon as he pinpointed its location, Lim Dane swiftly drew 3 daggers and threw them at the target. However, the bat was incredibly agile, dodging them all, and in that moment, it discovered Lim Dane's position. The cloaking spell was completely useless against this bat. Looks like it prefers circling around rather than flying in a straight line. Now that we know its flight pattern, we should get out of here, right? Moments later, Jinwoo rejoined the group. The others immediately asked him if he was okay. Are you hurt? I'm fine. I'll explain the situation and assign tasks. We don't have much time, so we need to act as quickly as possible. After the tasks were assigned, they attacked the giant bat once more. It's coming. Equipment team, fall back. Reinforcements are here. Everyone retreat. But the reinforcements Jinwoo mentioned were just hired men with shields. Excellent. Everyone, prepare for engagement on this side. The bat also commanded its controlled humans to attack. Fortunately, they were blocked by the shields. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Linda Y instantly leaped, launching herself into the air to confront the pesky bat. But unfortunately, its aerial agility was too impressive. It effortlessly evaded Linda Y's attack with ease. However, Linda Y had anticipated this situation. Lily, on the ground below, had prepared a fiery welcome. Take this, she shouted with determination. Countless fireballs erupted, hurtling towards the bat. But unfortunately, it once again dodged successfully. It even let out a mocking chuckle. The sarcastic hee-hee laughter infuriated Lily. Don't get cocky. Your joy will only last 3 seconds. Lily snarled. To counter the cunning bat, Linda Y quickly utilized her shield. The bat unexpectedly slammed face first into the shield. Seizing the opportunity, Linda Y immediately launched an attack from below. Lily also used her shield to provide Linda Y with momentum. You're nimble, Linda Y taunted, but let's see how long you can dodge this barrage. A furious storm of attacks began to rain down on the bat. Before it could even react, its head was sliced clean off. The monster's head went flying, landing on the ground with a thud. Linda was incredibly pleased with herself. Unexpectedly, she stumbled upon a magical mirror with the power to control others. Moments later, The group finally reached the final boss's chamber. Linda immediately warned everyone, "Don't let getting here so easily make you overconfident." Suddenly, Lily asked, "How much longer is that idiot going to space out, brother?" She was referring to Wang Gujiao. Linda seemed unconcerned. "Just leave him be. Let me deal with this boss first. I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling. If he escapes, he'll definitely get brainwashed again." Inside the chamber, a skeletal figure awaited them, ready for battle. His name was the Soul Hunter. As Linda stepped inside, blew his whistle, signaling his underlings to rush forward and intercept the attack. Leading the charge with overzealous enthusiasm was Wang Guho. As he ran, he unleashed his skills. But of course, the leader was also the first to bear the brunt of the attack. Fortunately for Wang Guho, his endurance was quite impressive. However, the punch was so powerful that it sent tremors throughout Wang Guho's entire body. Immediately after, the skeleton swung its sword, knocking Wang Guho back. From behind, Linda was still observing. Although a little shaken, he was holding his own against Wang Guho quite well. He had been trained specifically for this moment. Back to the battle. Thanks to Wang Guho stalling the skeleton for a moment, the others managed to surround it. It seemed the skeleton realized the perilous situation, so it unleashed a skill called Soul Link. This was a wide area magic, capable of turning enemies within its range into puppets. Witnessing this from afar, Linda cracked a knowing smile. That magic was completely ineffective. Just as you said, those grunts are completely unharmed. In fact, they even took advantage of the skeleton casting his spell to relentlessly attack him, showing no mercy. The fact that none of them were controlled made the skeleton visibly perplexed. All of this is thanks to the mirror Linda received after defeating the demon bat earlier. Combined with a bit of his ingenuity, it helped them maintain a state of unconsciousness, making them immune to the control of that skill. Therefore, the Soul Link became useless. The skeleton realized his skill had failed and immediately drew his sword, preparing for close combat. But he had only just halfway drawn his sword. The sword was firmly gripped in Kong Guho's hands. Linda witnessed the scene. This scene was a clear warning for Lily. "Your turn, kid." Linda's reason for saying so was obvious, because she knew full well that the skeleton was about to unleash his second skill. It was the dreaded demon summoning skill. The moment he cast the skill, a mysterious magic circle appeared directly above his head. At the same time, countless magic circles materialized on the ground. From within these circles, a horde of hellish demons arose. Fortunately, Linda had anticipated this situation and prepared a backup plan, which was Lily. The moment the skeleton cast his summoning skill was the same moment Lily unleashed her fire magic. "Burn them all, and let's go eat fried chicken." The skeleton's eyes widened in shock at this sight. "Good job, kid. Your task is to handle those demons." Witnessing this, the skeleton flew into a rage. Without hesitation, he launched his sword towards the two of them. Even though Kwang Google was still clinging onto it, Linda seemed to sense something was amiss. But she decided to ignore it, pretending nothing had happened. Despite being fiercely attacked by the bonehead, Linda remained calm and observant, not rushing into battle. She wanted to fully exploit the strength of these mercenaries. Linda's goal was to complete this mission as effortlessly and efficiently as possible. So, she waited for the opportune moment, the moment they exhausted the Soul Hunter, wearing him down until he collapsed. That would be her time to strike. Linda pondered, a cunning smile spreading across her face. After a fierce exchange, Bonehead's health had significantly depleted. Linda realized this was her moment to shine. She blew her whistle, signaling her subordinates to retreat, then confidently stepped forward. "You've been waiting for me, haven't you?" she spoke. "Let's end this here and now." Bonehead, enraged, unleashed a torrent of curses at Linda. In a completely foreign language he couldn't understand. "I don't understand a word you're saying, but I'm guessing you're calling me a coward, right? Well, I ask for your understanding. Because some people, they have no other choice but to live a life like this." With those words, they clashed, a fierce battle erupting. Linda decided to unleash her ultimate technique, the legendary mind control mirror. Though she couldn't completely control her opponent with the mirror's illusions, she could momentarily distract him. While her opponent was still disoriented, reeling from the drug's effects, Linda delivered a thunderous punch, precise and powerful. The blow shattered the protective armor on his chest, revealing a brightly glowing object. "Wait, isn't that a spirit stone?" A a spirit stone, an incredibly rare magical stone, with power surpassing even the highest grade magic stone, is a hidden treasure brimming with magical power, capable of extraordinary feats. And that is precisely the reason why he decided to venture into the perilous Soul Labyrinth. Sagata will make full use of this. Thank you for telling me. Linda and just extracted the spirit stone from the skeleton's chest. Once again, his despicable nature is revealed, leaving Lily utterly horrified. In short, this has been an astounding loot haul. With this, Linda can utilize the power of shapeshifting. If I can master the art of shapeshifting and perfect my body transformation abilities, I can reach the power level of a supreme martial artist. But that's not what I desire. I need to slow down the aging process and extend my lifespan. That way, I can enjoy my youth for much longer. After retiring, just then, Lily noticed the spirit stone that Linda was holding in his hand. What's that? Is it edible? Lily asked curiously. Hearing that, Linda burst out laughing and quickly replied, No, kiddo, you can't eat this. Eating it will cause big trouble. Why? You were going to eat it yourself, Lily wondered. This is Linda was about to make up a few more lies to fool Lily, when suddenly, the spirit stone in his hand vanished without a trace. Linda's face immediately went blank, stunned. Oh no, the spirit stone that millions dream of, he thought to himself. I was planning to use it. The shock was too great, leaving Linda seemingly lifeless. But just then, a thought suddenly occurred to him. Why did it disappear? Suddenly, Linda noticed the watch on his wrist. The hands are moving. Wait, doesn't this mean this clock? It's powered by a magic stone? Outside, many are consumed with worry, because the 4 guilds entrusted with destroying the gate have gone completely silent. 10 days have passed, and experts believe they've likely been annihilated, and Baekhyun Hui is among those consumed with anxiety. She's deeply worried about Lim Dae-in's team trapped inside. You're going out again? Squad 2 will bring Squad 7 back safely. Don't worry too much. Those were the reassuring words of Bang Hui Bum, Squad 2's captain. The other guilds have no intention of sending a rescue party. I know Squad 2 is capable of clearing an A-rank dungeon, but you still have to be extremely careful. Don't worry, we've got this. With that said, they prepared to enter the gate. But just then, the gate suddenly underwent a strange transformation. Wait, what's happening to the gate? Prepare for battle. Immediately after Linda, King Kong followed Lily and the convoy behind, gradually emerging from the gate. Witnessing Squad 2's safe return, Captain Bang was overwhelmed with joy. But there was someone even more overjoyed, and that was Big Young Hee. She immediately ran and embraced Im Do-in. This unexpected action flustered Im Do-in. Hey, what's going on? I'm carrying a child on my back. Let go of me. Why did you take so long? There were some unexpected incidents that are hard to explain right now. Anyway, could you please let me go first? I was so worried about you. With that, she continued to embrace Lim Dean tightly, holding him close in her warm embrace. Her intimate gesture caused the captain standing behind Lim Dean to perceive a special signal. Immediately after, various media outlets simultaneously reported the news. Thanks to the bravery of Squad 7, all the hunters from different guilds had luckily survived and returned. According to the latest update, the danger level of this gate far exceeded the government's initial analysis. At the entrance, a minor dispute erupted between the guilds. There seemed to be a disagreement between the gate administrator and the guild representatives. Inside the car, Lim Dean also heard the spreading news. You're quite the center of attention, causing a stir in the city. The driver spoke. I find it annoying, Lim Dean replied. Suddenly, Lim Dean noticed something strange outside the window. He spoke up. You said it didn't rain while I was in the dungeon, right? The rain has stopped. The sky is clear. Are you asking because you see the rainbow? It's been there for 4 days. So it's not exactly an unusual phenomenon, is it? Jinwoo thought to himself. Could this be a sign of the first great catastrophe? As time passes, each color of the rainbow will gradually disappear, and the day all the colors fade is when the great catastrophe will begin. On the night of the July lunar eclipse, hundreds of gates will open simultaneously, and countless monsters will pour into the world. Jinwoo survived before by hiding in a safe place. But now, things are different. He's much stronger now. He He also possesses a watch that can absorb mana from soul stones. And the next day, to celebrate the victory of conquering the gate, the White Guild hosted a banquet for Team 7. That's why Lily is wearing this beautiful dress. And this dress was a gift from Baekhyung High. That cheapskate, Jinwoo. How can I ever afford a dress like that for her? For Linda, all she could buy Lily were cheap, ordinary clothes, like this gaudy yellow one, for instance. Moments later, they both arrived at the party. Upon seeing them, Bitch Trang quickly stepped forward to greet them. Ah, our guest of honor has finally arrived. Captain Linda, I knew you'd return safely. As he spoke, he gave Linda a warm hug, but he didn't know that this friendly embrace almost sent her to an early grave. On the other side, Lily and Baekhyung were happily chatting. Lily, that dress looks beautiful on you. Thank you for the gift. My, you speak our language so fluently now. Of course, she's a genius. This sort of thing is child's play for her. Just then, a voice called out, Lily, would you like to come dine with me? Kong Yusin's words caused Lily's eyes to light up at the mere mention of food. This adorable action caught Big Young-hee's attention. What an utterly adorable child. It seems she noticed Kong Yusin's affection for Lily. Meanwhile, Linda In was observing everyone, lost in thought. It seems everyone is having a good time. I never experienced such a relaxed atmosphere. Back in the Black Moon Society, while she was still deep in thought, Baek Chang-soo suddenly spoke. Captain Linda In, what is your goal? My goal? Linda In wondered. I'm just curious about the goals of young people these days. To become the strongest in the world, or to become rich? To this question, without hesitation, Linda In immediately replied, my dream is to retire. I plan to save a considerable amount of money, enough to build a 9,900 square meter mansion. Then, I'll invite you over, and we can do whatever we want. Sounds tempting. Baek Young-hui said, living in peace is good enough. No need for strenuous training anymore. Wang Gunho added, but the strangest one is Jang Chong-soo. Don't you want to become stronger? If you train with me. At this point, his face lit up with excitement, but Baek Young-hui, standing behind him, didn't seem to share his enthusiasm. The peaceful scene before her brought a sense of relief to Linda In. Initially, she wanted to avoid all future dangers. She had foreseen them. But now, she had the potential to become stronger and have trustworthy comrades by my side. If escaping this disaster is impossible, should I devise a plan to save myself or not? The next day, Linda In unexpectedly invited the group to a secret location no one knew about, hidden from all prying eyes. Upon arrival, Baek Chang-soo gasped in astonishment. I can't believe there's such a beautiful lake in the middle of the forbidden zone. He ripped off his shirt and plunged into the cool water. Immersing myself in the beautiful nature was exhilarating. Suddenly, Big Young-hee called out, Captain, could you help me put sunscreen on my back? I can't reach it. Blank. Hee green light. Too bad it's not me. But that idiot Linda In doesn't know a thing. You need to work on your flexibility. See? I can touch it easily. Can you just help me out a little? You slow-witted fool. If you can't do it, move aside and let someone else try. Perhaps this is the reason why in the future, even at 40, he'll still be single. Linda Un firmly refused after hearing that. If you really need help, ask them. As soon as she finished speaking, he pointed towards Wang Gu-ho and Pajuk. Come to think of it, I don't think I asked who he is. Big Young, he was curious. Pajuk, overjoyed by the beautiful woman's interest in him, didn't wait for Linda Un's introduction and hurriedly spoke up. My name is Kim Minji, sister-in-law. My nickname is Pajuk. You can just call me by my name. Those sweet words were music to Baek Young-hui's ears, filling her heart with joy. It's a pleasure to meet you, Minji. Oh, we're not that close yet. Baek Young-hui said shyly, but her face was radiant with happiness. In stark contrast to Baek Young-hui's reaction, Linda's face darkened as black as a thundercloud. If you keep talking nonsense, I'll give you a different nickname. How about Bloody Pancake? Linda said, her face inches from red bean pancakes, her voice cold and menacing. With that said, for some unknown reason, Linda challenged the monster Baek Chang-soo to a swimming race. Chairman, care for a little swim competition? It'll be fun. Whoever reaches the other side first wins. Immediately, the two began to race. Of course, Baek Chang-soo was in the lead. As expected of a top hunter, he's incredibly fast. Thanks to that, I caught a huge fish. Lim Dae-in thought to herself. Just then, a gigantic octopus suddenly surfaced, appearing boldly before Bok Chang-su. A monster suddenly materialized out of nowhere, blocking his path. Enraging Bok Chang-su, with a single, powerful leap, he launched himself out of the water and unleashed a devastating punch. The forceful blow caved the octopus's head inwards. What followed was a relentless barrage of attacks, leaving the octopus no chance to retaliate. Witnessing the scene, Lim Dae-in exclaimed in astonishment, "This old man is incredible. He could take down a monster like that with his bare hands." As expected, he truly is. She trailed off, waiting until the battle ended. Lim Dae-in slowly swam closer and asked, "Chairman, are you alright? I didn't expect a monster to appear here." Bok Jin-soo simply smiled in response. "Thank goodness you're alright. This forbidden zone is like a majestic wasteland. I think we swam a bit too far. I'm worried about the others. We should head back." As he spoke, he pulled the octopus along to take it back to the lab for research. Linda wanted to explore the lake bottom a little more, so she told Baek Chang-soo to go ahead. After seeing Baek Chang-soo start to leave, he used his shield to cover his head and started diving down. While diving, he thought, the dragon was killed just because it was in the way. The real problem lies at the bottom of this lake. I don't know how much deeper I have to dive, but there's definitely treasure down here. A moment later, he saw a crevice emitting light. Found it. I should go back and enjoy the rest of my vacation, then bring her here later. But just then, suddenly, disaster struck unexpectedly. From within the water tank, a tremendous force suddenly emerged, pulling Linda in violently inward. The suction was so powerful that even the protective shield he'd created shattered. "Damn it, I promised I'd be back soon," was his last thought, before losing consciousness. Meanwhile, everyone on shore was still merrily feasting, completely unaware of the impending doom their captain faced. A long time passed before Linda slowly regained consciousness from his deep coma. "He's awake. What should we do? Will something bad happen? Who is he?" These worried whispers came from tiny creatures resembling faint phantoms. This was a race that Linda recognized. Hearing the panicked questions, Linda abruptly sat up, easily breaking free from the ropes that bound him. "Did you guys drag me here?" But your actions just now terrified them even more. He cut the rope. "He looks so scary. He's going to kill us." With that, they hid behind a large nearby rock. "I don't intend to harm you. Calm down. Everyone's panicking." The Nosto continent, home to wondrous flora and fauna and the mystical fairies. I worked as a guide here a few months ago, and I discovered a type of fairy that only lives near the purest streams in the fairy territory, the harmless Snowy fairies. You're Snowy fairies, aren't you? The question startled the little fairy. "How do you know us?" Now less afraid, they flew closer to Lim Dae. "You're in no stone, but you also know our language?" The questions came rapidly, leaving Lim Dae unsure how to answer. "One question at a time, please," he said, thinking. "In my past life, there were no records of fairies existing here. If the past is altered, the consequences will be severe." Just then, the little merfolk asked, "Why have you come here? We once lived peacefully in the lake." But suddenly this place was shifted to another dimension. Then monsters appeared, slaughtering each other for territory. That giant octopus, it devoured so many of our kind. Terrified, we were forced to flee to the deepest depths of the lake. And thanks to you, we were saved. It took great effort to rescue you all. He suddenly understood. In his previous life, they had been annihilated. That's why he couldn't find any trace of them. Beside him, the merfolk girl began to worry. "But now, our future is uncertain. Without sunlight, we are growing weaker. And we can't go outside because of that terrifying octopus. We're going to die. That monstrous octopus has been destroyed. Everyone is free to go outside now." This declaration astonished the three little girls. "Don't lie to us. You'll see. Can you tell if I'm lying?" As he spoke, Lim Dae-in held out his hand. "Let's see. Ah, it's green, that's right." When the snow girl touched Lim Dae-in's hand, a magical green light emanated. Green represents truth. Witnessing this, the little girls were overjoyed. "We're free. Thank you for avenging us." But Lim Dae-in was clutching his head in pain. "Stay there. You're giving me a headache. Let's go outside together." Afterwards, the four of them began to leave the area. Linda's initial objective was a special power located here. If she could obtain it, resolving the first disaster would become much easier. However, this place was heavily guarded, and the boy was still diligently investigating the area. Surprisingly, he encountered Sonoy. He started pondering, if I turn this lake into a water park, how much money could I, Sonoy, make? I'd definitely be rich, haha. And while Sonoy was lost in this delightful daydream, Linda gave a warning. Dangerous. Don't touch it. Thanks to her timely warning, he easily avoided these dangerous traps. If he had gone alone, he surely would have faced many difficulties. On the other side, Sonoy spoke up. Almost there, just a little further. We're going to meet my friend. Exactly. Thanks to him, we get to live here. This statement piqued Linda's curiosity. Do you know someone here? Wait a minute. Could it be someone huge, fair-skinned, and twice as tall as me? That's right. Do you know him? He's our friend. He's very kind and strong. That's why monsters don't dare come around here. The little girl excitedly boasted to Linda. Just then, Linda guessed that the friend the two girls were talking about must be the bodyguard. She spoke up. You two go ahead. I'll wait here. We're here, aren't we? Snoy replied. At that moment, Linda saw a robot right in front of her. Oh, damn it. As soon as the robot detected him, it immediately emitted a warning signal. Warning, unauthorized entry, area lockdown. Immediately after the order was given, both sides of the passageway collapsed with a deafening roar, completely sealing off Limdane's escape route. Assessment of the intruder complete. Target identified. Eliminate this robot. As soon as the announcement ended, the robot began to transform. How kind of them. Calling me a target to be eliminated. Well, looks like the robot on this side has finished transforming too. Commence target elimination process. Left with no other choice, Limdane prepared to engage in combat. He also wanted to test something that he had mentioned, namely, the left arm encased in special armor. Just then, the robot lunged forward in an attack. Although Limdane managed to block the attack, he was still pushed backward. I can't bridge the gap in rank, but that's alright. It probably can't use its right arm right now. Limdane's gaze sharpened as he looked towards. The robot's right arm was now significantly damaged. It immediately reassessed the threat level of the intruder. Higher level weapon systems activated, ready to fire. Target acquired. The robot hadn't finished its analysis when Linda suddenly launched a lightning-fast attack. Did you think I'd just stand here and wait? She thought. The robot abruptly issued a new announcement. Self-repair mode activated. Linda felt a surge of frustration upon hearing this. A self-repairing robot. How troublesome. Already powerful, and now it could heal itself. Meanwhile, she could only channel a meager amount of mana into her gauntlets. The situation was becoming extremely unfavorable. After the self-repair was complete, the robot pressed its attack, relentlessly striking at Linda. Linda barely managed to evade the barrage of attacks. Retreating seemed like the wisest course of action. She needed to destroy that wall and find an escape route. If she could take Wongu Ho and the child with her, even better. Just as the thought crossed his mind, Seol-hui quickly stepped between him and the robot. Seol-nim, don't hurt him. He's our friend, Seol-hui pleaded. The robot, within its visual range, began its data analysis process. Not a target for elimination. Disable. Destroy target. Lim Dien had been waiting for this exact moment. Without hesitation, he launched a left hook straight into the robot. The sudden action startled Seol-hui. Hey, why did you hit Seol-nim? Seol-hui exclaimed. I'll explain later, Lim Dien retorted. He continued to unleash a barrage of attacks. Young Seol-hui beside him was completely horrified. We're all friends, she mumbled. After a fierce battle, the robot finally turned into a pile of scrap metal. Seol-hui sat down, mourning Seol-nim. Seol-nim was our friend. You killed Seol-nim, she sobbed. The outraged girls questioned Lim Dien, but he remained calm, replying, It attacked me first. Was I supposed to just stand there and die? Those words left the crowd speechless, stunned into silence. They could only weep. Linda then sat down and spoke softly to the robot. Golem, is this enough to prove my abilities? The robot immediately issued a notification. Trial complete. Mission accomplished. He then retrieved a key from the robot. The key. Now I just need to find a safe place. But the crowd, after witnessing the robot's last breath, became even more enraged. We're not playing with you anymore. Friends aren't supposed to hurt each other. Hey, I didn't kill it. It'll come back to life if you just take it up there. He's right. Linda was rather fond of them. Annoying but innocent. And Linda wasn't lying. Current technology couldn't replicate a golem with a scale as massive as this. But with Jang Een's talent, reactivating it is entirely within reach. But the most important thing right now is you possess the crucial key. The next step is simply finding where to use it. Just then, a soldier suddenly wondered, This is the first time this place has been explored. What are you looking for? I'm searching for something incredibly important. And then, in that moment, he realized he had found what he needed. There it is, the elixir of life flask. It was a gleaming golden flask, possessing potent and limitless healing powers. In an era where healing potions haven't been invented yet, the appearance of such a high-grade medicinal liquid with an endless supply is truly a miracle. A treasure like this will surely fetch a high price. He chuckled softly. On the night of the first calamity, the night of the 7th month, if the monster horde rises, this could save the hunters and countless lives. To test it, Linda Y took a few sips. Seeing this, Snoy beside her pleaded, "Let me have some too. It smells amazing. There's not much left. Try it. I'll give you more when it refills." As he spoke, he dripped a few drops into Snoy's mouth. Instantly, her body glowed brightly. What's happening? Is the potion different for fairies? As a result, her body became much lighter, but her form shrunk. I'll investigate this further after we're done here and outside. As soon as Linda Y finished speaking, the 4 of them set off. They brought the golem with them. While swimming, he also felt. The closer he swam to the surface, the more he felt the warmth spreading around him. The moment he surfaced, everything became clear. The reason the water was warming up was because in the sky, a giant fireball was blazing intensely. Is that girl causing trouble while sleepwalking again? Playing with fire again? Lily also just saw Linda Een. Put out the fire and come down here. Are you trying to burn down the whole lake, you little rascal? Baek Chong-soo, standing on the shore, also spotted Linda Een. Captain Linda Een, where are you? It's an emergency. Anyway, I'm glad you're back safe. And it's a good thing Lily didn't evaporate the entire lake. Others came running from behind. Dad, have you found the captain yet? Found her. Everyone, you don't need to search anymore. Thump. As soon as she saw him, Young-hee rushed over and hugged the captain tightly. Where have you been? The girls all asked at once. Did someone start a fight with you? Vich Trang and Sue were stunned when they saw their figures. Captain, there's a monster behind you. Calm down. These are just new friends. I'll explain later. Meanwhile, Lily rushed over, giving Linda an affectionate headbutt. Where have you been hiding? It's dinner time, and you were nowhere to be found. I was worried sick. As she spoke, she punched Linda in repeatedly. I had to skip dinner to look for you, you idiot. Seeing Lily so worried about him, Linda Een felt a warmth spread through his chest. Sorry for being late. The short break ended quickly, and everyone returned to their daily routines. Now, they were battling a ferocious horde of orcs, with the only guild left. Everyone retreat. Linda Een commanded. On the other side, a colossal Orus, witnessing the retreat, flew into a rage and charged. Linda Een immediately ordered Wang Guho. As if on reflex, Wang Guho instantly lunged forward, absorbing the brutal attack from both monsters. Their daily lives revolved around 5 magic-rich meals and a grueling training regimen. Whenever there was a monster extermination mission, Wang Guho was always the first in line. Observing Wang Guho's combat skills, Linda Een couldn't help but ponder. He's progressing far beyond my expectations. If we're lucky, he could play a pivotal role in the upcoming catastrophe. With that thought, he spoke up. Well done, Wang Guho. Wait here for a moment. Then, he turned to Lily. Ready, little one? You have 1 minute. As soon as she received the signal from Linda Een, the young girl immediately began casting her magic. Crispy fries. The moment the words left her lips, countless fireballs erupted, hurtling towards the horde of monsters. With a single attack, the monsters were completely obliterated. I'll have a huge burger. No way, you're 5 seconds too late. You only get one choice. No. Hearing that, Lily almost collapsed, all her energy seemingly drained. On the other side, Kong Guho was chatting cheerfully. Captain, dinner's on me tonight. Just then, Linda Y noticed something was amiss. She immediately launched an attack. Out of nowhere, a goblin had appeared behind Wang Guho. Fortunately, Linda Y noticed just in time. This is a dark goblin. I knew you were lurking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Once I'm done with this one, Linda just came back to ask him what he wanted for dinner. But because of his earlier mistake, Wang Een couldn't bring himself to think about food. I'm sorry. Tonight, I'll eat a lot to regain my strength and train harder. You have to keep trying, Linda encouraged. That serious attitude. My skills are almost back to their peak. I can easily defeat the Dark Goerlin. My mana reserves are much greater too. With a little more effort, I'll be even stronger. Thinking this, he looked up at the night sky. Will the rainbow disappear in 2 weeks? To get through the night of the seventh moon, we need to prepare a few things. Firepower, to quickly eliminate the monsters pouring out of the gate, and a special item capable of destroying, sealing the central gate, and a plan to minimize damage to the city. Replenishing the hunter's energy is paramount, as is treating the wounded. Both are urgent and cannot be overlooked. We handled this matter effectively last time, so we need to be prepared for similar situations. Later, everyone returned to the guild headquarters. There, Big Yang addressed them with a few important matters. This is the report on the sales of the elixir that we discussed earlier. I understand they've decided to officially distribute it this week. Please keep a close eye on the situation and report any incidents to me immediately. Linda spoke up, asking, have the food products also met the KPI targets? That's no longer important. Even without extensive promotion, the hunters will be lining up to buy them. In the report, I've compiled the prices for each product to ensure fair and efficient business practices. Linda added, the purchase limit per person has also been clearly defined. Charging hunters higher prices is a sound strategy. Hearing this, Big Yang smiled with satisfaction. Have you really considered everyone's advice? Suddenly, Linda remembered something important. He immediately inquired about Kong Yinshin's situation. He heard that the boy had the ability to control Glam, something others couldn't do. He insisted he could, but I'm not so sure. Big Young, he replied. Hearing that, Linda breathed a sigh of relief. He'll definitely be able to do it. But why? Because he's afraid of missing his trip to the zoo with Lily, of course. He began reviewing a list. It was a list of his friends, those who stood by him on the day he retired. Because Linda was changing the future, he couldn't be certain these people would survive this incident. So, he needed to prepare a few things. Finished with his thoughts, he tucked the list inside his shirt. Big Youngie spoke up and asked, do you need anything else? I want to get as much done as possible before you start your week-long vacation. But Linda didn't seem in a hurry to answer. She turned to the driver and asked, how long does it usually take you to get to work? About an hour, ma'am. Your home is quite far. It must be a difficult commute every day. Linda said sympathetically, it's all right, ma'am. Just then, Linda suddenly suggested, how about you and your family move to an apartment closer to the guild? The unexpected offer left the driver bewildered. I'm sorry, what? Beck Yongi, please arrange an apartment for our driver as soon as possible. It needs to have enough rooms for his entire family. I'll cover all the expenses. Beck Yongi smiled and replied, all right, I understand. Inwardly, she thought to herself, he's such a strange person. The driver was also full of questions. Captain, why are you suddenly? For your convenience. Sir, I have plenty of money. Please take it. Haha, am I dreaming? Today's my birthday, the driver confessed. Linda began to contemplate, lost in thought. With the elixir, money is no object. But I can't use this method to evacuate everyone. There's still so much to do. Later, back at home, Linda and Lily packed for their trip. Red Bean Bun wished them well. Big brother, little sister, have a wonderful weekend trip. Hey, no sneaking off. You can't run away. Both Linda and Lily said in unison. On their way, they stumbled upon Wang Guho secretly training. Linda quickly shushed Lily and they continued walking. He's deeply focused. Too slow. This isn't working. If I don't get stronger, the captain will leave me behind. From behind, Linda quietly listened to the entire conversation. Is he still worried about being abandoned? Regardless of his motives, it's a good thing he's getting stronger. I won't interfere in this. Waiting until no one was around, they used their shields to fly away. A seemingly simple skill, yet it possessed surprisingly versatile applications, from attack, defense, to movement. Linda was curious as well. When did you learn to do that? Just follow me. Can't you do it? Her words stung a little. How is she so skilled? He then entered the secret cave. This was their private treasure trove. Linda had carefully collected the valuable items she found during her explorations of the Forbidden Zone and hidden them here. Just then, Snoy appeared, greeting them cheerfully. Hello. Report. No anomalies detected. From now on, I'm assigning you to patrol the perimeter of the cave. The Snoy girls, after absorbing the elixir, have gained incredible speed and agility. Thanks to this special ability, he entrusted them with the crucial task of reporting any signs of intrusion immediately. Soon after, Linda and Lily made their way to the item vault. There, Linda gathered several useful items. Lily was curious about what Linda was searching for. Among the stored items were a few necessities for their journey. First, the deceiver's mask. an item capable of diverting attention and creating a sense of familiarity. It could even alter the wearer's voice. Next, the sage's cloak, an item capable of releasing mana, creating an aura of formidable power, making the monsters wary. Finally, a wooden staff imbued with potent magic. Immediately, they set about camouflaging themselves. Everything was ready. Operation commence. Meanwhile, in the city center, another spatial gate was opening. However, it was on the verge of closing, as the monsters were almost completely eradicated. And just at that moment, as the hunters finished off the last of the monsters, two figures suddenly appeared. It was Linda and Lily. They had used a cloaking skill beforehand. As soon as the hunters cleared the battlefield, they deactivated their invisibility, making it seem like they had just stepped out of the spatial gate. The hunters immediately became wary of the two strangers. Who are they? It looks like they just came out of that gate. Linda surveyed the surroundings, noticing the large crowd, feeling incredibly satisfied. This is amazing. How many people are witnessing this? Thinking about that, he spoke up. I am the mage Ashimos from the Gayer continent. I have come to warn you of a disaster about to befall this land. Ashimos' voice was filled with gravity. The surrounding crowd began to murmur and chatter. Who is that? What language is he speaking? I've never heard it before. Didn't he just come out of that gate? And while they were still confused, still unsure of who this person was, the staff in Ashimos' hand suddenly glowed. The bright light made everyone more wary. Don't be afraid. I'm just using a language translation spell. Allow me to introduce myself once again. I am Ashimos, a mage from the Gayer continent. Listen to me. Just as he finished speaking, Ashimos glanced to the side, signaling to Lily. Immediately, Lily instantly cast a spell as he lifted them both into the air. I have come to warn you. That rainbow is an omen of a terrible calamity. When all its colors fade, a terrifying disaster will strike. Every gate to hell will swing wide open. Demons and monsters will overrun the world. Life will wither. Death will reign. Therefore, unite. Prepare to face the impending doom. Having finished speaking, the boy cast a dazzling illusion spell to capture the attention of the crowd below. People began to murmur, offering various speculations, because in recent days, the colors of the rainbow have indeed been faded. Indeed, all of this is thanks to the power of the Limdane mask, a special mask that makes his voice sound more authoritative and trustworthy. The sage's cloak radiated a divine aura, making it impossible for those around him to ignore. The magic staff is just an ordinary glowing stick, but it's enough to add a touch of solemnity to this performance. Just then, a worried police officer stepped forward and asked the mage, "How can we prevent this catastrophe?" "I cannot prevent the calamity," the mage replied. "All I can do is mitigate its consequences. Where's the ruler of this world? I need an audience to speak with them directly." And because of those words, moments later, Linda, Jean, and Lily were ushered into the Blue House interrogation room. Afterward, another official entered and addressed them. "Are you a mage from another dimension?" These were the words of the Hunter Association captain, Jang Een. Meanwhile, Linda and Jean continued their act. "I know you're astonished," Linda said, "but I'm here to warn you of an impending disaster. You're not the king here. Please, take me to the king immediately." Ju Sang-yuke countered with a skeptical look. "How can you be so sure I'm not the king? Our cultures differ from your world, so my appearance may not align with your image of a king. I know this may sound unbelievable, but I can glimpse destiny, though I'm no expert." Linda Yin's cryptic words left Ju Sang-yuke feeling perplexed. "Destiny? Can you read everyone's destiny? I can foresee monumental events that will be recorded in history, or those who possess a great destiny. For instance, right now you're not the king, but in the near future, you will seek to become one." This declaration stunned Ju Sang-yuke. "What do you mean? How do you know that?" Linda Yin's reason was quite simple. Because in the future, he ran for president. Moreover, he's a hunter judge, someone who would never tolerate crimes committed by a hunter. That's just my thought. But Linda must keep this a secret. Heaven's secrets mustn't be revealed. That's all I can say. Just then, someone else entered from outside. Announcement. The president requests a private audience with him. Understood. Afterwards, Ju Sang-guk returned the staff to Linda Yin and said, "Mr. Ashimos, I will escort you to the president." The current Blue House was renovated just a few years ago. When the first gate opened, another gate appeared atop the Blue House, and a monster emerged from it. As a result, the president and most of the National Assembly members inside the Blue House were killed. This incident led to widespread chaos. It wasn't until the new president was elected that the situation temporarily calmed down. Because of this strong defense, the Blue House looked like a military barrack. Not long after, Ju Sang-guk led him to the president's office. Several people were already there waiting. Just then, the man with glasses spoke. "It's an honor to meet you. I am the president of this country. I hear you're from another dimension. Is that correct?" Linda and Lily bowed upon hearing this and replied, "Yes, I am Asimos, a sorcerer from the Thornhell. Please forgive my assistant's limited translation abilities." "It's all right. Please have a seat. This chair looks strange. It's a lie detection. You will be caught lying if you don't give a truthful answer. The truth will come out soon enough. There's no other choice." Linda, reluctantly, sat down in the chair. The conversation between the two began. "First of all, do you truly come from Earth 6? That catastrophe, was it real?" "No. We came here to warn you about an impending disaster." My assistant isn't fully briefed on the details. A lengthy exchange followed. Thanks to her martial arts training, Linda could control her breathing, her heart rate, and even her perspiration. Therefore, the lie detector was rendered useless. Meanwhile, Lily only understood a fraction of the questions. So, throughout the conversation, they didn't detect anything suspicious. After the Q&A session ended, the president ordered, "Please, remove his restraints." The mage signaled for everyone to leave the room. After everyone had left, he continued, "I sincerely apologize for doubting you, but the situation forced our hand. Please understand. If I were in your position, I would likely have done the same. Then, allow me to ask you something in private. Before the disaster strikes, could you tell me 6 locations that are safer? 6 places that are guaranteed to be safer than here, right? You came from another world to warn us of the impending danger. So surely you must know." But upon hearing this question, Linda's demeanor suddenly changed. "Are you suggesting you abandon the people here and escape alone?" The president quickly interjected, "I'm not a king or anything. I just happen to be in this position. If you need money, I'll provide it. I'm sick and tired of this dangerous place. I never know when my life might end. Please take me in, my family, and this friend of mine as well." As he spoke, he gestured towards the man standing behind him. Hearing this, Linda didn't hesitate any longer, immediately grabbing Lily's hand. "Let's go. I misjudged you." The president still tried to persuade her, promising her anything she desired, things beyond imagination. "Why did I cross space and dimensions for this? I don't need anything. Let go of my hand." Seeing Linda about to leave, the president's tone changed. "I didn't want it to come to this, but I have no choice." The man beside him slowly removed his mask, crushing it in his hand. This man was the first awakened giant, Kim Suho. In that moment, an overwhelming pressure emanated from his entire body, directed straight at Linda. This powerful aura made Linda tremble all over. "Damn, I have to look up to even see your face." Then, he burst out laughing, leaving Kim Suho perplexed. "How long are you going to keep messing with me? You are the true king," he said, looking directly into Kim Suho's eyes. Hearing these words, he slowly withdrew his aura and said, "How did you know? Is it that obvious? Your vast constellation of destiny." Additional information. Kim Suho is the hero who restored order to South Korea, a place that was plunged into chaos when the first gate opened. Immediately after awakening, he mobilized security forces to protect the people. After the presidential election, he rebuilt the Blue House and became the president of the country. Furthermore, he's dedicated to the city's reconstruction and the revitalization of the nation. He's a household name, a true Korean hero. Moments later, at the disaster response headquarters, at this very moment, a critical meeting is underway between the most influential guilds. Before we officially begin, allow me to introduce the prophetic mage, Asimos. We ask that you lend him your utmost attention. After Linda's presentation on the impending disaster, the reactions in the room were varied. Monster Beck Chong-soo seemed incredibly excited. 10,000 monsters, he mused, must be an incredibly powerful force. The others, Demon King Kim Tae-jin, Ice Queen Han Ji-hee, and Steel Wall Min Tae-won, remained silent, observing without comment. They were also the first awakened. Or rather, this is a prestigious title reserved for the most powerful individuals, among the first to awaken with special abilities. They are the ones who will bear the responsibility of destroying the monsters and bringing peace to humanity. A prime example is Kim Suho. And currently, Kim Soo-ho has also scheduled his activities. Therefore, I intend to declare a nationwide state of emergency tomorrow morning. I will provide maximum support for preparations to respond to the impending disaster. I look forward to your cooperation. Mr. President, please wait. How can you put your faith in such a preposterous story? Kim Tae-jin voiced his objection, and Min Tae-woon completely agreed with his viewpoint. I think so too. He looks like a con artist. Declaring a national state of emergency right now is a decision that's too hasty. Is there any concrete evidence? If he's lying, who will be responsible for compensating for the loss of time and money? Hearing this, Kim Soo-ho interrupted. Enough. I have personally verified this. Don't forget the precise moment that gate opens. After that, he continued speaking. If everything goes smoothly, there won't be any casualties. That's welcome news, isn't it? If we aren't prepared for the impending disaster, the losses will be even more severe. Hearing this, Min Tae-woo sighed deeply, lost in thought. I've already had my hands full with the E-engine incident. But you know, just as he finished speaking, he lunged towards Lin Dae-in with terrifying speed. However, his true target wasn't Lin Dae-in, but the disguised Lily. I've been getting a bad feeling about this. Hold it right there. I'm going to unmask you. Are you trying to die? There has to be a reason why you're wearing that mask, right? Like to hide your identity, for instance. As he spoke, he ripped off Lily's mask. But when Lily's mask fell away, accidentally revealing her adorable cat face, this surprised everyone around them. Linda quickly picked up the fallen mask and gently reassured Lily. Oh, calm down, little assistant. It's just a misunderstanding because they don't know. He then turned to the others with a serious tone. Everyone, Mio is very embarrassed to reveal her true appearance in front of humans. That's why they always wear masks when they're with me. Inwardly, he breathed a sigh of relief. Good thing I prepared this for her beforehand, just in case something like this happened. This cat mask has a voice-changing function, but if the mask is removed, a spell that transforms the target into a cat will be activated instantly. Well, Min Tae-woo, what are you going to do to atone for your misjudgment? Kim Soo-ho then shouted at him. Min Tae-woo hastily bowed his head in apology. I sincerely apologize for removing my mask without permission. And the next day, Kim Soo-ho declared a state of emergency on national television and radio. Citizens of the Republic of Korea, today I stand before you to inform you of a grave crisis threatening our nation. There was some initial unrest following the previous announcement. However, the people quickly adapted to the current situation. The military, the guilds, the police force, and the hunters immediately commenced large-scale training exercises. Meanwhile, Cha Hae-in and Yoo Jin-ho were leisurely enjoying tea. Suddenly, an attendant entered. Sage, I heard you're leaving today. That's right. The spatial transfer magic is about to expire. I'll be back in a few hours. The clerk continued to repeat that phrase. Before you go, could I ask a small favor? Of course, I'd be happy to. If you can please ask, I'll do my best within my abilities. Lin Dae-in replied cheerfully. These are the books I collected as spoils of war during the restoration of the country. I only brought the ones that were still in good condition. Could you take a look at them? Lin Dae-in hesitated slightly before speaking. I don't have much time, so please just look at the important ones. I'm not an expert, so don't expect too much. You're too modest. Thank you. Lin Dae-in then entered the library and began to observe. I can speak any language, but I can only read the languages of the 6 Gaia continents and the martial world. However, his true expertise lay only in magic and martial arts. Just then, a strange book caught Jinwa's attention. These are the memoirs of the Sword King. I am Namgung Mahak, the Sword King. In the world of martial arts, I am known as a living legend. Blah blah. I just skimmed through it a bit. Jinwoo muttered. This must be the book left behind by the Sword King. Seeing him engrossed in reading, the clerk curiously asked, Hey kid, what's so special about that book? How did you suddenly find such an incredible martial arts manual? Jinwoo immediately switched to acting mode. This book, it seems like it was written by a demon. His words startled the clerk. What? A demon? Jinwoo continued to ask. When you found this book, was there anything else with it? A sword, perhaps? That sword also has a demon inside it, and it will tempt, seduce people to raise their swords and inflict wounds upon others. The young clerk started to feel uneasy, anxious. He quickly pulled out his phone, checking for information. Linda also began to fill with hope, anticipating something about to happen. It would be incredible if the Sword King's legendary Changshan sword were here. But the outcome deeply disappointed Linda Y. There weren't any swords to be found. They reported finding only a single ancient book and some tattered clothes inside the crumbling cave. This filled him with regret, but he had to accept it. At least obtaining a martial arts manual was a stroke of luck. With that thought, he quickly tucked the book inside his shirt. Then he said, "This book is extremely dangerous, so I will take it with me and seal it away. His Majesty is surely very busy, so please keep this matter confidential." As soon as the attendant left, Linda Y took out the book for closer examination. I was born an abandoned child of the Namgung clan. I was born with exceptional martial arts talent, but I was ostracized and treated unfairly for being illegitimate. I wasn't even allowed access to the clan's martial arts secrets. After his mother passed away, he stole the tribe's secret martial arts techniques and precious elixirs. This boring narration couldn't pique Linda's interest in the slightest. I'm not interested in this part at all. I already know what happens next. The Sword King, once hailed as a martial arts master, suffered a crushing defeat against the heavenly demon in 7 consecutive battles. In the blink of an eye, he vanished without a trace. After searching for a while, she finally found the important part. It described a secret martial art technique called Dimensional Travel Divine Skill. It was explained so simply that even a monkey could understand it. So if you don't understand, read it over and over again. After careful observation, Linda began to practice it. First, Linda sat cross-legged in a ready position. Then she began to regulate the flow of mana within her body. Internal energy is divided into 3 main types, the first of which is accumulation. Accumulation, the amount of internal energy gathered and stored in the dantian, the body's energy center. Next is balance, representing stability and harmony in the flow of internal energy, the inner energy within the body. Finally, release, which is the speed of releasing internal force outwards, creating attack power. If the cultivation techniques I've mainly focused on until now only emphasize the balance of internal energy, then this internal energy circulation technique is a perfect combination, a masterful blend of all 3 elements. This is truly a supreme, unparalleled, and perfect internal energy cultivation technique. I understand why past martial arts masters were willing to risk their lives to elevate their martial arts realm to such heights. Let's stop here for today, mainly because this martial art is too profound, too much to comprehend. Just by circulating a little internal energy, my body is already drenched in sweat. At that moment, Linda Lin glanced at her watch and realized it was past lunchtime and her daughter hadn't returned. Suddenly, Linda Lin felt a sense of unease. He quickly turned his head. Out there in the vast sky, a strange gate suddenly appeared. From within it, a ferocious bull-headed monster emerged. This is Minato. Witnessing the colossal monster, the people in the courtyard were utterly terrified. Terror gripped them, rendering them immobile, frozen in fear at the sight of it. The enraged bull, without hesitation, launched a devastating attack. Fortunately, Lim Dian appeared just in time, creating a magical barrier to protect everyone. At the same time, she instructed, "Don't leave this shield until help arrives." The brave sorceress protected everyone. This was also an opportunity for Lim Dian to test the power of her new inner strength cultivation technique. The enraged bull charged fiercely at Lim Dian. "If I use powerful magic here, this palace is about to collapse. Looks like I'm on my own." Just as he finished speaking, he nimbly dodged the monster's ferocious attack. In the next moment, the staff in Linda In's hand emitted a blinding light, causing the enraged bull to pause in astonishment. Seizing the opportunity, he unleashed a powerful punch, sending the monster flying back dozens of meters. However, this caused Linda In to fall into deep thought. Is this really Minato? Why is he so weak? The enraged bull charged again, but Linda In easily evaded the attack. The monster didn't even realize where he had moved to. While the bull was still searching for Lindo In, he delivered another critical blow. Suddenly, it dawned on Lindo In. It wasn't that the monster had become weaker, but that he himself had grown stronger. I need to master these new techniques quickly. In the blink of an eye, the physical mage took down the raging bull. Meanwhile, in the sky, Lily gracefully glided in on her hovering shield. "Your support mage has arrived." Seeing this, Linda quickly asked, "Little one, where have you been?" "I was out eating with a friend. I even made a new friend." Their conversation was still ongoing when in the sky, monsters continued to pour out from the dimensional gate. A herd of enraged buffalo had gathered. I don't want to damage the palace, but there are too many. I have no other choice. Lily immediately grasped the situation. At the same time, Linda raised her magic staff high and chanted, "Inferno magic meteor shower." As soon as the incantation ended, countless fireballs fiercely erupted, hurtling towards the buffalo herd. This magnificent scene left all who witnessed it in awe. A legendary spell, later recorded in history books and depicted on the statue of the great sage, will be erected in Gwangwoman Square. Soon, the moment for Lee Jin-woo to leave arrived. Kim Seho was seeing him off. "Seho, I will never forget this kindness. I only did what I had to do. Please do your best to prevent the impending disaster." At that moment, Kim Seho gestured for someone to bring a suitcase and said, "It's not much, but please accept this gift as a token of our sincere gratitude." Lee Jin-woo hastily refused. No, I cannot accept something so valuable. We can't see you off with peace of mind if you don't accept it." Hearing Kim Seho say so, he reluctantly accepted. Inwardly, Jin-woo wondered, "I wonder how many high-grade magic stones are in here. It seems I can't stay here any longer." A teleportation magic circle appeared. "Farewell." At that very moment, another circle of light appeared beneath their feet. Lily extended her hand to bid farewell to her new friend. "See you again, my friend." Linda smiled brightly, bidding everyone farewell. "I hope we all stay safe." As night fell, Linda and Lily returned home, as if nothing had happened. "Have you been a good girl? I've missed your cooking so much." Pat Bingsu heard the familiar voice and was overjoyed to tears, hurrying to greet him. Where have you been? Something terrible has happened." Although she already knew everything, Linda pretended to ask, "What is it?" Pat Bingsu began to recount. "If all the rainbows in the sky disappear, a terrible disaster will befall us." The president announced that hundreds of gates would open, but the two others, noticing Pat Bingsu's worried expression, only exchanged a knowing glance. Their subtle smiles left the young man completely clueless. After Lim Do-in and Lily finished changing, Pat Bingsu continued the story. Yang Gu-ho arrived at the guild immediately after receiving the emergency call. "Please tell me when you'll be back," she asked. "When will you return?" Hearing this, Lim Do-in replied, "All right, you did well. Now, come to the guild right away." As for this matter, made her see Pat Bingsu in a new light. To be honest, Lim Do-in had thought he would run away. Even in this critical situation, it was commendable that he stayed and waited. "Have you packed your things?" "Yes, sir," Pat Bingsu replied enthusiastically. Then, Lim Do-in also gazed at the rainbow, lost in thought. Less than a week remains. First, let's head to the guild. But as soon as they arrived, Baek Yong-hui immediately questioned the captain. "Where have you been hiding? I've been trying to reach you constantly because of that emergency call, but you didn't even bother to turn on your phone. Do you have any idea how serious the situation is?" However, Linda calmly replied, "I've heard him nagging enough on the way here." As she spoke, she turned to look at Pat Bingsu. "Hello, Miss Secretary." Only then did Baek Yong-hui recognize the familiar face. "We met at the lake, didn't we? It's been a while. But where are you evacuating to?" Hearing that, Linda spoke up. "Are there any vacant rooms left in the guild? I'll be staying here for a while." At the same time, he told Bean Pod to bring the luggage inside. As for Baek Yong-hui, she hurriedly pulled Linda in to meet the representative. On the way, she said, "Do you know you're the only one who answered the emergency call? Even the chairman will be furious." Despite Baek Yong-hui's words, Linda still looked clueless. When they don't answer the phone on weekends, they don't get angry. Just then, they ran into Wang Jianwoo. "Captain, it's me. How are you?" Wang Jianwoo, upon seeing Linda immediately rushed to hug him. Luckily, Linda quickly dodged. "Are you crazy? Why are you suddenly attacking me? I'm just so glad. I thought you abandoned me. Even if others ignore, scorn, and badmouth you, I will never abandon you." Linda said, extending her hand. "You're still useful to me, after all." That's what Linda was thinking. Linda then knocked on the door and announced, "Chairman, Captain Linda reporting for duty. Please have a seat." Big Young he quickly explained. Captain Linda was outside the restricted area at the time, but Baek Chong-soo didn't seem to care. "That's no excuse." "Captain Linda were you aware of the impending disaster?" "I heard about it on my way here." Linda replied. "Good, you're up to speed." Baek Chong-soo said sternly. "The great sage Asimos He summoned me privately and bestowed upon me a prophecy. O true knight, let the wheel of fate turn, and glory shall be theirs. That was the prophecy he received. I think he's referring to your team. Big Young Hui and Wang Guho completely agree with this viewpoint. Linda Lin felt a bit embarrassed hearing him say that. She said it herself. Now hearing it again is so embarrassing. If a disaster truly strikes, let Team 7 deploy independently, and everything will be all right. Is that what you mean? And at this moment, Linda Lin is also thinking it will be time-consuming if they have to be responsible for eliminating monsters at a fixed location. It's better to train them to act independently and autonomously than destroy the pillar gates. The reason this disaster is called the Night of the Seven Moons is because there are 7 special gates with the colors of the rainbow that appear among hundreds of other gates. The pillar gates are the source of all the surrounding gates. If these 7 gates can be handled, then the remaining gates will disappear simultaneously. Linda has relayed crucial information regarding the 6 gates. They need to be destroyed immediately, all carried out under the authority of Asimus. But why did he conceal information about the final gate? Because this gate holds an incredibly valuable soul stone, and this time, he's determined to obtain it to fulfill his dream of becoming handsome. Meanwhile, Bai and Beck Jiangsu wonders, is the prophecy as simple as it appears? Or is there a deeper meaning hidden beneath the surface? Bayak Young, he is also lost in thought, and a hunch tells her that something remains unrevealed. To avoid wasting any more time, Linda Wise speaks up. Would a wise sage who wants to help us offer such a vague and cryptic prophecy? I don't think we need to delve any deeper. Finally, after some debate, after a passionate plea, Squad 7 was finally granted permission to operate independently. 3 days later, at the vast White House training grounds. In that moment, Linda was diligently guiding Wang Wugu's diamond fist train. Can you recall the mana flow that circulated within your body just now? No way. I can't remember. I'll demonstrate again. Try to memorize it. As she finished speaking, Linda glanced at her phone screen, reviewing notes on the legendary Sword King. Diamond Fist, according to the Sword King's records, is a martial art that emphasizes external strength. So the breathing technique is quite simple. It's just enough to strengthen the body and support basic skills. But it will be very useful for Wang Wugu. And after repeated instruction, Wang Wugu still couldn't grasp it, which made Lim Dane suspicious. The Sword King said he was a fast learner, but how could things have gotten this bad? And on the 30th attempt, it reached Lim Dane's breaking point. Damn it, that's the 30th time. You're worse than a monkey. I'm starting to understand. I will train more, even if I have to do it alone. I have to go. I have something to take care of. Now, only purple remains in the rainbow. Disaster is imminent. Lim Dane kept looking back at Lily. Such a cute little puppy, isn't she? Woof! She barked playfully, giggling. Did she sell her soul for a little bit of food, or did Lim Dane train her too well? You bought 3 and already ate them all. If you're finished, then get up and pay. As he spoke, he wiped Lily's mouth. Is this why you bought it? The red gate. That their team is forced to infiltrate just as disaster strikes. This hell gate will also appear simultaneously with other gates. It's called the Valley of Fire because it's a treacherous land with towering flames and rivers of boiling lava. Therefore, they'll have to fight against the intense heat while navigating. And to defeat the boss, they need a crucial item, the Frost Dragon's Fawn. However, it's being kept at the Black Moon Guild's headquarters. So, tonight, they're here to borrow this treasure. As for when they'll return it, that remains to be seen. The Black Moon Guild is also the place where Jinwoo was once forced to work as a slave for 3 years when he was 20 in his past life. During that time, he had virtually no work-life balance. And for those 3 long years, he didn't even have a single day off, unless he was seriously ill or severely injured. If only in my past life I had focused on rehabilitating my knee, perhaps my life would have taken a different path. But now, my swordsmanship has been tempered into the Sword King's technique. Thanks to thorough preparation, I know every nook and cranny, the entire structure of this building. I know the location of all the surveillance cameras, as well as the weaknesses in their security systems and infrastructure. Afterward, they both infiltrated the building safely. Meanwhile, in the security control room of the Black Moon Society, the staff were grumbling and complaining. While everyone else is heading for safety, we're stuck here doing this damn job. Just thinking about it makes me furious. Why did you choose to rob this place? During a state of emergency like this? You should have robbed a grocery store or a supermarket or something. I left the door open for you, didn't I? When disaster strikes, we'll run for our lives back to the guild shelter. In the middle of their heated argument, a monitor suddenly went black. One of the infrared cameras went offline. What happened? Did the camera malfunction? Did the lens break? Suddenly, they realized something terrifying. Wait, that camera's position is right outside this room. While they were still panicking and pointing fingers, Jinwoo silently slipped in. He quickly took them down, knocking them out cold until morning. Then, he pressed a hidden button on the keyboard. Instantly, alarms blared throughout the building. Emergency. Code red. Intruder detected in the representative's room. The piercing sound startled the other hunters. Meanwhile, in the monitoring room, Jinwoo began to spread misinformation. There are 4 of them, all heavily armed, and they're not hunters. Deploy all forces in the building to the representative's office. Understood. I'll be right there. Now, all you have to do is wait for the chickens to come home to roost and then shut the door. So the entire security force has been detained in the representative's office. Linda even put on some music for them to enjoy. And, taking advantage of this opportunity, he and Lily snuck into the vault. The sight inside left them wide-eyed in astonishment. A treasure trove overflowing with glittering gold, silver, and jewels. But the most important thing, the objective of this trip, the ice dragon's fawn. It was well preserved. Having obtained the treasure, Linda quickly tucked the fawn into her shirt and said, "Let's go." But at this moment, Lily had a question. "Aren't we going in there? I'm so curious what's inside." As she spoke, she turned her head and looked back at a wall behind them. That wall contains a lot of mana. Her words triggered a thought in Linda's mind. Stand back a bit. With that said, he unleashed a powerful punch, shattering the wall. Behind the crumbled wall lay a glittering pile of mana stones. This is a real feast. Good job, kid. You get 3 extra cheese cubes as a reward. Hearing about the extra food, Lily went wild with joy. Then, Linda, let his left arm absorb all of these mana stones. I plan to absorb the next soul stone, so you can absorb this. As he commanded, his left arm began emitting a powerful suction force, drawing all the mana stones into a central vortex. But after absorbing all those mana stones, the gauntlet seemed unchanged. Not much has changed, except maybe her nails are a bit longer. This leaves Linda, feeling slightly disappointed, and as soon as they retrieve the item, Linda, and Lily vanish without a trace. They leave before the other guild members arrive. The next day, the rainbow has also disappeared. At Refugee Sector 3, Linda is still so happy she can't stop giggling. Her behavior piques John's CEO's curiosity. "Captain, what's so funny?" Linda calmly explains. "Finally, I got my severance pay from the company I worked at for so long. But even though I'm happy, I can't forget about the mission." Just then, Linda starts checking to make sure everything is in order. "So, the equipment preparations are complete. Support team, can you all hear me? This is John Kim. I hear you loud and clear." John Kim reporting in. Signal is strong. Support team ready and standing by. Check on Lily and Wang-gu-ho, will you? Are they both prepped and ready? I'm feeling a little uneasy. This is all so surreal. Lily's starting to complain, and Wang-gu-ho seems embarrassed by his suit. Lily's armor is designed with a focus on defense. Meanwhile, Wang-gu-ho's suit is made from a new material, highly elastic to maximize agility. This equipment is custom designed for each individual. But Wang-gu-ho is being timid and hesitant, prompting Linda Kim to speak up. "What are you doing? You're going to stand like that in a fight?" "Well, I just thought standing still like a statue might be effective. The monsters won't be able to do anything to me." Even though what he's saying is completely accurate, his stance looks utterly ridiculous. Just then, Baek Yonghui approaches to inform the captain that the people he mentioned a few days ago have been brought to the safe haven. "Excellent, well done." Baek Yonghui adds, "You're friends with them, right? Would you like to see them?" "For now, this is enough." Linda had requested that the safety of his friends who attended his retirement ceremony be ensured. Some of them perished in a previous cataclysm. This time, he's determined not to let that tragedy repeat itself. And while everyone is anxious and restless, for some reason, Baek Jang-soo seems strangely elated. Disaster could strike at any moment. Park Seo-jun will stop this. Witnessing her boss's unusual behavior, Linda Y turned to Baek Yoon-hee and asked, "Can't you sleep either?" Is it because of the chairman's excessive excitement about this? No, well, yes. Sometimes I feel like I'm taking care of a child. Think of it as a rare gust of positive energy in this gloomy atmosphere. Sigh. Anyway, this much should be enough to stop him. Meanwhile, near the refugee area, a long line of tanks and countless heavy weapons were surrounding the area. Fighter jets circled overhead, ready for combat. Suddenly, a shout rang out. What the hell is that monster? Wait, it's an ally. It's one of our squads. Linda immediately recognized the newcomer. Jang Een. That kid, did he actually succeed? From Lim Daein's perspective, a colossal Olam was being piloted by Jang Een, and at that moment, Lily cheerfully ran to greet Jang Een inside the cockpit. Can you see outside? Yes, I can see perfectly. Lily was about to climb in with him when Lim Daein stopped her. I hear a voice from inside. Can you modify it for manual access? Did your mother give you permission for manual control? It's like a combat suit. I'll protect you. Those were Jang Een words to Lily. As for Lim Daein's question, Jang Een seemed not to have heard it. Suddenly, Baek Yonghui, standing nearby, noticed something and yelled, "Captain, look at the sky." The rainbow in the sky had begun to fade. Lim Daein's face became worried. Has it begun? Baek Yonghui, get back to the command center immediately. Just as he finished speaking, in a vast sky above, hundreds of gates suddenly appeared at once. Countless ferocious monsters poured out from those gates. Despite witnessing this sight for the second time, Linda couldn't help but feel terrified. This was only the first wave, and it was already this terrifying. But right now, he had to rally the entire team. The enemy is just a bunch of monsters that we've fought countless times before. Everyone focus, prepare for battle. Hearing his encouraging words, the soldiers' morale began to stabilize. This made Linda feel more at ease as well. Now that everyone has regained their composure, I can safely entrust this shelter to them. At the same time, the battle officially began. A barrage of tanks opened fire simultaneously. The Awakeners also charged into the fray. The monsters had reached the front lines, and Park Jin-soo was the most eager among them. He charged straight into the horde without hesitation. You finally showed up. It's been a long time since I've been back on the battlefield. Park Jin-soo is also the one who will seal this gate. The dark blue pillar itself is a key element. The gate's pillar is divided between the Vanguard Awakened team and the Professional Hunter team. Lee Do-in is planning to split off and act independently, and she accidentally stepped into the gate, the red pillar. At this moment, Lee Do-in turns to Kang Jin-young and says, "Look closely, Kang Jin-young. This is a real battlefield." He originally intended to show Kang Jin-young a glimpse of the battlefield's brutality, but his reaction was rather indifferent. "I'll follow you." His response left Lee Do-in somewhat disappointed. "All right, there's no more time for debate. Follow me and provide support." Immediately after, Linda ordered Squad 7 to proceed to their designated position. They would operate independently. The group quickly boarded their vehicle and set off. Linda's plan was to feign random movements, eventually heading towards the red pillar gate. Support suddenly informed the captain. Monsters from all directions are converging on the stronghold. The situation is critical. Linda immediately drew her weapon, ready for combat. I'm not very familiar with military-grade weapons, but with 25 years of experience as a hunter, I can still handle this. Soon, they encounter the monsters. However, Linda didn't want to waste time on these small fry, so she ordered the vehicle to keep moving. "I'll be on the roof, taking out the monsters." Not a single creature dared to venture near. "Turn right at the upcoming intersection. Everyone, watch out for monsters," Linda firmly commanded. "Kid, ready?" "Ready." Lily responded instantly, without hesitation. She had already focused magical energy in her palms, ready for battle. Seeing this, Linda shouted, "Blast those monsters away." Follow her lead. A horde of monsters was closing in. "I'll make this quick so we can get some fried chicken." With that, Lily unleashed a massive pillar of fire, scorching the air. The ferocious fire column surged forward. The group sped through the wall of flames, without slowing down. Thanks to Lily's powerful flames, they could move continuously without pause. There was no need to stop and engage those pesky monsters. This thrilled Linda. Full speed ahead. Turn right at the hospital up ahead. After 2 blocks, turn left. Each command issued by Lim Daein was sharp and resolute, his voice echoing in the vast space. In a blink of an eye, A crimson gate materialized before them, like a mysterious invitation. "Captain, could that be the red pillar gate at the end of the path we've been searching for?" The entire squad was stunned into silence. "I believe this is the omen foretold in the sage's prophecy." Jang Een spoke, a hint of excitement in his voice, just as Lim Dae-in ordered the squad to enter the gate. From the deepest shadows, a colossal dinosaur suddenly emerged. Its full name was the Inferno Bell Giant T-Rex, a terrifying creature. "We're only a kilometer away from the monster. Should I decelerate or maintain our current speed?" Lim Dae-in quickly assessed the situation. "If this monster delays us, others will swarm and surround us." Without hesitation, he commanded, "Wang Wu-hyun, we're leaving this to you." Hearing that, Wang Gugu jumped out of the car. "I'll show you the results of my training." Thus, a man and a dinosaur prepared to battle, and in that very moment, as the dinosaur was about to snatch Wang Gugu, a brilliant golden aura suddenly emanated from him. It was the diamond mana of the Diamond Fist. Thanks to its power, he was able to temporarily resist the ferocious beast. Meanwhile, Linda and continued to direct. "Jang Il-hyun, it's your turn. You promised to protect her, didn't you?" Hearing that, Jang Il-hyun immediately piloted his robot straight towards the dinosaur. With skills rivaling a seasoned pilot, he easily dodged its ferocious bites. Then, Yang Yunjin quickly grabbed the dinosaur's tail and executed a spectacular slam, throwing it to the ground. It sounded like a long story, but all of this happened in the blink of an eye. This action sequence was truly impressive and spectacular. It left the onlookers in awe and yearning to experience the thrill of piloting it themselves. The final battle ended like this. After the dinosaur was swarmed and relentlessly attacked, Jinwoo took it down with a fatal blow. Looking at the motionless body of the dinosaur, Jinwoo fell into deep thought. With its colossal size, this monster must possess something valuable. With that thought, he began to dissect the monster's carcass, and from within, he retrieved a core. This was an incredibly useful treasure for enhancing physical strength. But while he was rejoicing over his precious spoils, Wang Jian rushed to report to the captain. "More monsters are pouring out." To avoid a surprise attack, Jin immediately ordered everyone to retreat into the gate. The key to destroying the Red Gate is to destroy the slumbering fire giant within the volcano. Just as they stepped through the gate, everyone simultaneously changed their attire. The switch to combat suits instead of mech was complete. "These combat suits look even cooler than I imagined," Linda exclaimed. "Not only do they feel comfortable during combat, but they're also really stylish. Moving around will be much easier from now on." "Seo Jun, you must be surprised too, right? The first time I received mine, I was completely stunned." Yang Yunjin also contributed to the creation of these suits. She truly is a genius. After everyone was fully prepared, Linda spoke up. "If everyone's ready, let's move out." Yes. Not long after, they unexpectedly encountered a pack of monsters. They resembled ferocious fire wolves. The moment they saw the monsters, Wang Guho immediately charged forward. "I'll take care of them." His unexpected action surprised Linda in. Wang Yin quickly took the offensive. Because someone was blocking the wolves, Linda in, from behind, was ready to act, and the weapon he drew was a modern, high-tech gun. It's been a while since I've shown off my perfect marksmanship. The battle officially began. Wang Yin immediately used rocks as a shield, halting the advance of the ferocious wolves. He didn't give them a chance to move forward. Behind him, Linda continuously pulled the trigger, never missing a shot. Each bullet found its mark, freezing a wolf solid. The battle was going quite smoothly. Thanks to the giant's fondness for me, I could perfectly time my shots. And it's lucky that they had prepared liquid nitrogen bullets for me beforehand. Finally, Yang Yun only needed to control the golem to advance. Her task was to destroy the frozen wolves. The battle was swift and relatively easy. After clearing the battlefield, everyone continued their journey forward. At this pace, they would overcome the fire centipede ahead. Although the battle had been going smoothly so far, Lily fell a bit down, because her flames seemed useless in this place. The reason was that the monsters here possessed extremely strong fire resistance. "You should rest, Lily," Linda advised. "Rest now? Is it because I'm useless? What nonsense are you talking about? After resting, you'll have to fight a lot." "Sounds fun." "Fun? No, I hate that." Despite saying that, Lily felt quite happy because she knew she wasn't useless in this battle. As the convoy approached a scorching lava lake, Linda Y immediately ordered everyone to halt. Up to this point, everything had gone smoothly without a hitch. However, the lava lake ahead concealed an unforeseen danger. Everyone looked dubious, because from their observations, there were no signs of any monsters around. Rescue team, can you bring me the carcass of any monster? Linda Y requested. Immediately, the body of a rat was brought before her. Without hesitation, Linda Y tossed the rat straight into the lava lake below. No one could have anticipated that. Before the rat could even touch the scorching lava, a gigantic monster would suddenly emerge from below and devour it. Witnessing this horrifying scene, everyone was stunned into silence. This was the reason why Linda Y had warned everyone to stop. If they had continued moving without checking first, then they must have encountered a very difficult situation. Linda Een suddenly turned around and said, I need to capture that thing first. Equipment team, have you prepared the large fishing net? Just a disposable one will suffice. You're going to catch that fire serpent? Let's test it first. Please wait a moment. As soon as she finished speaking, Chun Coa hurried off to prepare the tools. At that moment, Linda Een turned to the two people behind her. All right, while we wait, you two can play rock, paper, scissors. Linda Yin's words caused them to stare at each other, their faces completely clueless. But soon, they understood her intentions, because this game would decide who would be the bait. In the end, Yang Guho received the honor of taking on this responsibility. Meanwhile, Yang Yun-sin would be the angler. And just as predicted, as soon as Yang Guho was thrown into the lake, the fire serpent immediately lunged at him. Yang Yun-sin seized the opportunity. The golem activated its 5,000 horsepower engine, hoisting the colossal serpent upwards. Meanwhile, Wang Guho, inside the monster's mouth, pulled out a strange device. It resembled a sword. Once inside the serpent's maw, he had to retrieve this, and somehow miraculously, Wang Guho activated the device. Two blades shot out simultaneously, piercing both sides of the serpent's mouth. Yang Yun-sin, with all his might, dragged the monster ashore. Wang Guho emerged from the serpent's mouth immediately after. Linda rushed over, worried, asking Wang Guho, "Are you all right?" "I'm fine." Suddenly, a loud boom echoed, making them both jump. From the volcano's peak, a gigantic hand began to emerge. Impossible. The thing emerging from the volcano, it's the fire giant. Could it have awakened because of the chaos we caused? If that's the case, we need to adjust our strategy immediately. Our top priority is to take down that fire serpent, then retreat. Linda in thought, her eyes fixed on the fire serpent. Even though it's been dragged ashore, it still seems incredibly strong. And while Linda was lost in thought, the serpent suddenly launched an attack with its tail. Luckily, Linda managed to dodge just in time. Immediately, Kang Yanin rushed in to restrain the monster's tail, restricting its movement. All right, all three of us will launch a coordinated attack. But this serpent is much more resilient than we anticipated. Damn it, it's not giving us any time to adjust our formation. All of our attacks haven't been able to penetrate its steel-like scales. It's completely unharmed. This damn serpent doesn't just bite. Not only that, but it can also spit deadly venom. The moment Kang Jinion's arm came into contact with the horrific poison, half of his arm instantly evaporated. Clearly, Yang Il-seon was too inexperienced in actual combat to face such a ferocious and terrifying monster. With no other options, Li Daoyin began to issue commands. Yang Il-seon, retreat immediately. I'll find a way to lure the monster away from your position. Wang Guho, you retreat too. Check your wounds immediately. Hearing this, the support team couldn't help but worry. Captain, will you be all right facing it alone? I'm not cornered yet. From the support team, another voice spoke up. We need to scout the surrounding area, with a camera as well. But instead of focusing on the fire serpent, Li Daoyin understood the hidden meaning behind those words. I know. You mean the one above is the real problem, right? Is that it? It's about 40 meters tall. With such a colossal size, it can close the distance very quickly. Linda Yin had to battle the fire serpent, while also staying wary of that giant. The closer he got to the colossal being, the more Linda Yin felt its extreme danger. The first awakened reached this gate, even before I was reincarnated, if I remember correctly. But now, I'm the one who has to solve this problem. What should I do? Linda Yin's face creased with worry. After a moment of thought, he said, Squad 7, get in the vehicle, fall back and wait until I call. Linda In's initial plan was this. First, he would eliminate the fire serpent in the lava lake. Then, he would approach the body of the fire golem, slumbering within the volcano, and pierce through it with the sharp ice dragon's fawn. Immediately after, she'll quickly retreat before the colossal golem awakens. Finally, Linda will take down the raging flame Olin, now severely weakened by the frigid aura emanating from the ice dragon's fawn. It's a flawless plan, truly impeccable, as long as no unexpected incidents occur. Back to the intense battle unfolding. After everyone received Linda's decisive orders, and seems to harbor a vague worry, Jang Een tries to communicate with him. Without a leader, what are we supposed to do? Haven't you heard the saying, when elephants fight, it's the ants that get trampled? That's right. If you insist on staying here, you'll suffer the same tragic fate. So, first, we need to make them slaughter each other. Speaking of which, it seems like you have a plan brewing in your mind. A carefully prepared plan. Linda then charges straight towards the gigantic serpent. Next, he utilized a special movement technique, known as the annihilation step, to ascend the colossal serpent's body. The ferocious serpent retaliated, spewing deadly venom. Facing this vicious attack, Jinwoo neutralized the venom with a single move, simultaneously severing the monster's tongue. The wretched serpent, its tongue severed, thrashed in agony like a stuck pig. Seemingly unsatisfied, Jinwoo taunted the writhing serpent. "Come on, you bastard." He then contacted his support team to confirm that everyone had retreated safely. Upon receiving confirmation from his teammates, Jinwoo proceeded towards the flame golem. The closer he got, the more intense the heat became. Despite his suit's fire resistance, the heat was unbearable. The fire serpent, as soon as it escaped the intense pain, the monster roared and charged straight towards Jinwoo. This action immediately caught his attention. The monster unleashed a tail whip with terrifying force. Jinwoo narrowly dodged the fatal attack. If it had connected, he would have been severely injured or even killed. However, Jinwoo dodging the attack only enraged the monster further. It immediately bypassed the golem to attack Jinwoo again. But the dungeon boss, the fire golem, wasn't happy about this. The fire golem launched a powerful punch at the other monster. Witnessing this, Jinwoo was overjoyed. That's it, he thought to himself. His plan to lure the two giant monsters into fighting each other had worked perfectly. The two monsters stared each other down for a moment, then clashed in a fierce battle. The fire golem threw the first punch, but the serpent quickly dodged. Immediately, the fire serpent retaliated with a lethal venomous spray. But unfortunately, its venom seemed to have no effect on the colossal golem. Witnessing the two monsters clashing fiercely, Jinwoo was thoroughly entertained. The bloody battle filled him with excitement. Yes, fight more. Good, keep going. Meanwhile, he stealthily took out the ice dragon's fawn. Now I just need to wait for the right moment to use it. The closer to the heart, the better. I'll stab it deep into the golem's heart, then quickly retreat. That was Jinwoo's plan. Back to the fight. The fire serpent seemed to be gaining the upper hand. It had constricted the golem with its massive body, with all its might. And this was the opportunity Jinwoo had been waiting for. He immediately gripped the ice dragon's fawn and activated his stealth skill. Jinwoo quietly approached the two giants while they were still fiercely locked in combat. The colossal stone golem, after struggling in vain to break free, began to show signs of frustration and rage. Suddenly, it unleashed a mysterious technique, causing its entire body to erupt in flames. The fire blazed intensely, the heat so intense that even a fire serpent, a creature that thrived in scorching lava, couldn't withstand it and shrieked in agony. But before it could utter another sound, in just 3 short seconds, the golem squeezed its massive hand around the serpent's neck. Then, with a mere exertion of force, it ripped the serpent in half. These two brutal acts filled Linda with absolute horror. I have to attack by surprise, catch it off guard while it's reveling in its victory. That was Linda's only thought at that moment. But somehow, the colossal being spotted him, just as Linda was still suspended in midair. Then, with a single hand, it slammed down towards Linda as if swatting a fly. But when a monster retracted its hand, there was no one there. Then a voice rang out. "Admit it, you'd be toast without me." It turned out Lily had saved Linda. Linda was bewildered. "What are you doing here?" "Here to pay for your meal," Lily replied with a grin. Of course, but just then, the monster went berserk again. Its entire body erupted in a furious blaze. Seeing this, Lily quickly used her shield to lift them both up. Then she said, "I've got this." "No, don't." Linda frantically stopped her, but it was too late. Lily unleashed a powerful fire spell towards the monster. Facing her fierce attack, the golem merely opened its mouth slightly and swallowed the entire blaze whole. After finishing, it even let out a loud belch. The sight stunned Lily. It ate the fire? "That's why I told you to stop," Limdane said. "Now, the real problem is how to take this monster down." During the fight earlier, the golem's attack knocked his weapon away, Limdane explained. The ice dragon's fallen too. Seeing no viable solution, Limdane conceded. "Let's regroup and rethink our strategy." But in contrast to Limdane's discouragement, Lily seemed incredibly excited. "Do you think I could do that too?" she asked. With that, she opened her mouth wide and took a deep breath. At the same time, intense flames engulfed the colossal golem, suddenly being sucked into Lily's mouth. This bizarre sight left Linda incompletely speechless. What's happening? But at that moment, down on the battlefield, the golem seemed utterly terrified and began to flee. A thought suddenly flashed through Linda's mind. Could it be running away because Lily is controlling its flames better than it can? That little girl's control, is it even surpassing that of the boss itself? Not long after, the flames on the golem were completely extinguished, signaling its demise. What a strange victory. I can't believe we defeated it this way. As soon as the red gate was destroyed, the other gates collapsed one after another. The disaster was averted much sooner than expected, and a week later, most of the construction workers, along with civilian volunteers, embark on the task of rebuilding the city. At a bustling construction site, Team 7 was actively participating in the construction efforts. They worked with incredible speed, eager to complete their tasks as quickly as possible. "Hey, Captain Troll, isn't this a bit much?" one member spoke up. Somehow, while everyone was sweating and toiling, Pat Bingsu was leisurely standing around, giving directions. A worker, witnessing this scene, wondered aloud. "You guys are members of Team 7 from the White Guild, right? It's unusual to see hunters participating in work like this." Hearing the question, Pat Bingsu replied with a smile. "What if we are guild members? We have to do something useful. Wherever help is needed, there we are." "You guys are amazing. Thank you so much," the worker replied. "Let's have a drink." As he spoke, he poured Pat Bingsu a glass of cold water. At the same time, the worker turned to speak to someone else. "Everyone, let's take a break and get some food and drinks." Suddenly, another worker spoke up. "Everyone's busting there, but's working. So where'd that show-off go?" This comment made the members of Team 7 feel a bit embarrassed. "That's my brother." "No, he's my captain. Don't get me wrong, he's not slacking off, he's injured." Actually, at that moment, Linda and Lily were relaxing nearby, and the worker immediately caught sight of this. "Injured where?" "His skin is so fair and smooth. He clearly looks like someone who's never done a hard day's work in his life." John quickly jumped in to defend him. "It was the captain who suggested the guild help the villagers." "That's right." Hearing this, the worker had nothing more to say. Young people these days. At this moment, Wang Gugal also spoke up. "I've finished eating. Is there anything else I can help with?" His actions just now seemed to make the other workers a little uncomfortable. "We should try to do better as well, shouldn't we?" "Yes, you're absolutely right. Awaken ones, this way please. I need your assistance with something." "Yes, I'll be right there," Wang Guk replied enthusiastically. "The gates won't appear for 31 days following the recent disaster, according to the great sage Akamose's final prophecy. This means that for the time being, no new gates will emerge. Therefore, everyone can focus their efforts on rebuilding the city without worrying about any immediate dangers. For the past few days, the awakened guilds have been continuously clearing debris, disposing of monster corpses, and conducting crucial research. Linda is currently taking a moment to rest and relax." Suddenly, a voice called out, "Is the captain still recovering? Aren't you bored just resting all the time?" Big Young He exclaimed, "How can this be? My dream is to live a simple, peaceful life, relaxed until the end of my days." Hearing these words, Lily quickly turned around and said, "That's not what he meant. He meant the lives of the rich and the homeless." The little girl's naive remark made Linduin scowl. "That's a rather insensitive comment, little one. But since you made a significant contribution this time, I'll let it slide." Just then, Big Young He suddenly realized something and exclaimed, "Oh, Captain, your skin has improved significantly. Linduin's skin now wasn't just significantly improved. It was gleaming as if greased. All thanks to him using the fire giant's core to regenerate his body. Now, Jang Een could enjoy the life of a handsome man with enviably smooth skin. Even in retirement, he still couldn't bring himself to say those words to Baek Young-hui. So he had to lie. I got a facial the other day. This statement immediately piqued her curiosity. How was it? Where did you go? Can you take me there? Jang Een didn't expect her to ask that. There were no facial salons around here, so he had to deflect. Well, that's beside the point. But Baek Young-hui wasn't giving up. Don't try to hide it from me. That's so selfish. Did you come all this way just to ask about that? Of course not. Actually, at this moment, Jang Een had only used half of his mana in the fire giant's domain. Therefore, if he wanted to, he could use it again. What matters is its intended use. And at that moment, Big Young, he handed him a stack of documents and said, I'm here to discuss the report concerning the Mayak. We've ramped up production, but the supply still can't meet the demand. Furthermore, we've received numerous collaboration offers. Mayak is formulated based on the elixir of life, which has recently been exclusively distributed by the White House. Thanks to this Mayak, thousands have escaped the clutches of death. Even those diagnosed with crippling conditions have made full recoveries. It's estimated that the mortality rate has plummeted to 1/10 of what it was before. Therefore, the demand for Mayak will undoubtedly continue to soar. Very well. Handle the partners yourself. Jang Een added, regarding the fire giant's corpse report. That report is complete. Leave me 20 kilograms of bones and blood. You can handle the rest yourself. All right? Jinwoo's indifference made Linda sigh in exasperation. Today, would you like to attend the memorial service for the victims who lost their lives? Hearing this, Jinwoo immediately refused. I don't want to go there. It feels too suffocating. Jinwoo's words surprised Baek Young-hee. So you requested information about the families of the victims who died in the battle. For what? That's like asking Santa Claus to come in the middle of summer. That evening, the funeral was held. Kim Soo-ho was giving a speech. 7 days ago, we fought against an irregular gate opening phenomenon, also known as a catastrophe, a disaster. 427 lives were lost on that fateful day. They were brave soldiers, courageous police officers, and skilled awakeners. More than that, they were loving fathers and mothers, devoted children, and loyal friends. They were respected citizens of this nation. We will forever remember the noble sacrifice of these heroes, what they gave for us. Finishing his speech, Kim Soo-ho quietly stepped forward to light incense in memory of the fallen. Below, stifled sobs began to echo. An innocent little girl asked, Mommy, when will Daddy come home? The child's innocent question made the atmosphere more sorrowful than ever. Mommy, don't cry anymore. What if Santa sees you crying? It's okay, honey. Mommy will stop right now. Kim Soo-ho heard every word of the mother and child. He didn't even have tea. Even the most powerful awakened were helpless against this desperate situation. Suddenly, a streak of light flashed across the sky, catching everyone's attention. Look in the sky. It looks like a monster